everybody, and welcome. It's wonderful to see you all here. We have bunny ears and like a stick 'em up. Like what?
I'm a cat with guns.
What is going on right now? Sure. Okay. Hi. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's lovely to see you all here. If you are just joining us for the first time, you are tuning in for an episode of Pets Go Home. Or in this case, Pets Go to Big Mouse City. We are playing an animal adventure RPG inspired by such wonderful classics as The Incredible Journey and Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey, the movie adaptation of the book. I don't actually know if there are any other stories that are in a similar vein, but I'm going to pretend that there are, so it's not just me recreating the 90s classic Homeward Bound starring Michael J. Fox as a dog. Also, Susan Sarandon, is that who is the cat? Yeah, as a cat. So, anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We are all here to support the theater Unexpected Productions, a nonprofit theater in Seattle. I will pass it over to Tony to talk a little bit about them.
Yes, Unexpected Productions it's actually Seattle's longest running. It has Seattle's longest running comedy show as part of it. It's been around since the 80s. It's still around technically, in that the theater is still there in a building behind a disgusting gum wall, but nobody's allowed to go into it. To sort of help keep it going, they are doing some streaming online now at Unexpected Productions. That's their Twitch name as well. But mostly it exists as a people on stage performing together and connecting with themselves and other people who are in the room. So to keep all that going, to help it survive, we're raising money for it. It's a big Seattle staple, and it's a big part of how all of us met, either directly or indirectly in a couple of cases.
And if you would like to help support Unexpected Productions, the link is in chat. And that is also your way to help, as some of you may be familiar with this concept, to help influence the events of our story. You can help these pets get home better by giving them adversity tokens, which in the system that we're using, Kids on Bikes, essentially allows them to do things like reroll their dice or add +1 or use special abilities that their character has access to. So they can do cool stuff with it. You can also help me out by naming NPCs. That's a thing that I'm bad at. I'm very excited for you to meet the NPC that has been named. Last week we had Pierre, the very... the French bulldog who had seen some shit. So that was our very graciously named NPC. And then all of your donations that come through will read out your names with your thank yous and thank you at the breaks that we will be taking. So check out that link in chat if you would like to help support Unexpected Productions. And if you are unfamiliar with our story so far, we are playing Pets Go Home. This is the tale of 3 pets and 2 companions that are also animals that they have encountered on the road. So I'll just go over what has happened in our story so far. We met our 3 pets. We met Coco and Cheeky and Phantom. Cheeky the bunny rabbit, Coco the chihuahua, and Phantom the cat. And they were... separated from their owners because their minivan was stolen and taken for a joyride by some teenagers. They then encountered Renee and Chip, the goose and mouse. They had to get food, so they heisted a kitchen. Then they left, and they eventually had to cross a river, which had some mixed success. They had a brief run-in with a Pierre, the French bulldog, and no. What? It's not a French bulldog. Boston Terrier. Thank you, sir. I'm just going to get the dog completely wrong. And that went mostly okay. Then they hopped on a car and got all the way to Anaheim because their goal is to get to Big Mouse City. So I will have all of these lovely players introduce themselves and who they are playing, and then we will repeat what happened. We'll just go over what happened right at the end of the last episode. And see where we go from there. So let's start with this direction. Claudia, who are you?
Hi. Okay. My name's Jackie Dash, Jakidash. Yes! Instruments! So I am a part-time streamer. I hang out on Monday Fun Days, and I am so happy to be my pronouns are she, her. And I'm so happy to play Chip, who's pronouns are also she, her, and is a field mouse with big dreams and a chip in the tooth. And now has many friends.
So many friends. But also before that had so many siblings.
Yeah, no, but they didn't. They're not gonna go to Big Fest. They're too scared.
They're too scared. We're gonna bounce to the other side with a Dan.
Hi, I'm Dan Poslins at Dan Poslins. I'm a he, him, and I am an actor, improviser, and director in the Seattle area, as well as a game developer. And I play Renee the Goose.
The goose from the Goose Game, in case you were
yes.
trying to figure out.
I mean, yes.
Just don't deny it. We'll bounce to the other side with Tony.
Hi, I'm Tony Beeman. I'm at Tiny Beeman on everything. So check me out there. Hi, today I'm playing Phantom, the Korat cat. Lauren said I can't use this for most of the show, but I'm using it right now.
I think I said you're allowed to use it once. I didn't give a time limit for it. In hindsight, I should have done that.
It burns.
I am not actually a pet. I live with humans. They kind of are my pets in a way. All the other animals here are either pets or wild beasts. I am just a person named Phantom. And currently I'm stuck in the middle of a road.
All right, Janine. Help us cleanse our palate.
Yeah, I'm Janine, she, hers. You can find me at Admiral Asma. I am playing Coco, the elderly, partly toothless Chihuahua of the group. That's all
She's seen some stuff. She's seen some stuff. And Cheryl.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cheryl Platts, a.k.a. Muppet Aphrodite on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, whatever. And I will be playing Cheeky. My pronouns are she, her. Cheeky's pronouns are they, them. I am a bunny, not a swimmer. And yeah, very excited to be here.
I think you were a pretty successful swimmer. Relatively
I did not drown.
You didn't drown, which is a lot.
Spoiler alert.
This is a lot. All right. So, the end of the last episode, they had made their way to Anaheim. They had seen the sign for Big Mouse City. They had seen the big mouse upon the sign. And they had been merely faced with the great challenge that faces many animals in their lives, the road. And they have varying levels of familiarity with this road, with these cars and these things that travel upon this road. And in a moment of panic, frustration, and sheer catitude, Phantom dashed madly across the road, but only made it halfway. And now there's shooting traffic on either side, just shooting by super fast, and Phantom is trapped on the sort of central green, that boulevard sort of break between the two different directions of lanes, and it's probably each side is 2 lanes wide, maybe even 3. It's Anaheim. Roads are wide. Yeah, 3. Cheryl's it's 3 lanes. The roads are wide here. And in an attempted rescue, Coco, with all of her intelligence and might, was I understand how roads work. I have crossed roads with humans before. And so crossed the road with the humans, went on a walk, and then realized that they had just crossed all the way to the other side of the road, and did not, in fact, stop in the middle of the road in the location in which Phantom needs to be assisted. And so we have on the far side of the road Coco. In the center, stuck on the boulevard, we have Phantom. And on the other side, we have Chip and Renee and Cheeky, who are basically hanging out outside the gas station where they all had exited the vehicle that they had hitched a ride in from the middle of nowhere over to Anaheim. So we bring up the scene on this image. And I'm sort of curious what any of you are planning on doing in this situation. You have a rough direction to head towards Big Mouse City, but there are some things in your way.
I live here now, I guess. Good luck.
Cheeky.
Is there, the clump of people at the crosswalk? Are there strollers with baskets
definitely
underneath?
Yeah, there's definitely a stroller for sure. That seems totally reasonable.
I turn to Chip and I'm like, Chip, hop on! and Chip hops on my back, and we make a break for underneath one of the shoulder, underneath a stroller.
Are you trying to like get into the basket on the stroller, or are you just trying to like hop and like hide, like move
if there's
along
a
out of the
basket,
stroller?
we will attempt to be in it. Otherwise, we'll
we'll say there's a basket. That
shadow
seems
it.
like totally reasonable. There's a basket with like snacks and whatever other
Even
gross
better.
things children would have. I don't know a lot about small babies, so I'm just making stuff up.
Because the under thing, that's where they keep.
Yeah.
That's where they keep the not baby.
That's right. Yeah.
I can tell you about babies. They're tiny lords, and the humans cater to their every wish and need.
Yeah.
They're terrified of them. If you were to roll that baby thrown out into the road, they would all stop immediately in deference to the baby king.
I mean, so my question is, what's your, are you just trying to cross the road, or are you trying to like stop the stroller? Are you trying to like go and then like hop off when it gets to the middle?
In my head, Cheeky wants to test the hypothesis that one can catch a ride across the street. Because why couldn't Phantom like join the crowd or like try to do something similar? But anyway, Coco went over there.
So you're just planning on getting to Coco?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this sounds like a pretty brainy, like this is a pretty smart thing that I think you're doing. And I think if Cheeky wants to maybe roll it, and then you can assist if need be with your adversity tokens, and I don't think that's super difficult. So we'll say a 6.
Okay.
And I just hopped on.
Yeah.
And my brain is a D12.
Okay. No, you got a pretty
I
good
got a
shot.
10.
Beautiful.
Much better than last week.
All right. Narrate us through this. Describe the crossing of the road.
Chip, hop on. We're going to play a game like Ricky used to play with his little people rider vehicle. We're gonna sit in it, and it's gonna move. It's like a little car. See how all those small humans are in the little cars?
Oh yeah. Okay. But here's the thing. What if we stopped it halfway?
Why would
would
we
get
do
that in it. Can I use as I know that there's a timer on this. Can I use my brains to figure out the locking mechanism on the cart?
Yeah, on the wheels, like get one of the wheels to stop.
And lock down one of the wheels when we're close, so the cat can get in.
Ah, so you're trying to like stop the buggy like or stroller like halfway, so that Phantom can jump on it, and then you can like finish crossing the road by the time the humans have figured it out. I feel I like this plan. I see no way this plan can go horribly wrong. I go ahead and give me totally a brains to solve some problems.
I don't see a problem here.
The part that I would say is the harder part is like you're a tiny mouse trying to find the lock, like push the lock, but we'll give it to you. Let's say
15. Sorry.
Oh, you rolled a 15. Okay, I was gonna.
I'm pretty sure I got brains.
I was gonna put it at like a 9, so you're fine. Yeah. Okay. So describe the lock breaking, and then we'll see what Phantom does.
So we hop quickly, the pair of us. I hop us expertly between feet, as we saw several episodes ago. I'm good with feet. And pop us underneath a stroller. It's mostly goldfish crackers. They're not in bags. Like, this family is not as organized as some families. And so there's also a small Hot Wheel and a rattle that's clearly been there for a while. So
maybe a pacifier.
And now we're on the bottom shelf or like thing in the stroller, and I imagine that's when Chip gets off.
I think what's gonna happen is that my plan is halfway through. Chip is going to indicate to Cheeky to push on. Usually it's a little like braking pad on one of the wheels, and Chip's gonna do it on this wheel.
So you're trying to like do the coordination and like, cause you get the like little locks that like pop down on the brakes. So the two of you, I think, between the 15 and the whatever, you successfully pop down the brakes. The stroller goes like, and the humans are like, whoa, 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 whoa. So you have a moment while they like look down and are like, whoa, 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 whoa.
We get real small.
Yeah, and the two of you I think are really are are really like pretty small, so it's not like a huge deal. However, the question at this point is really, Phantom, do you figure out what's going on? That there's this stroller available to you, and do you successfully get on the stroller? Because we see this, like, you know, slow motion, the humans going, like, leaning over, like, about to pop the brakes back up.
So I just see a stroller coming right at me. Could I hear them discussing this, or?
I don't know. Probably.
I'm pretty quiet.
Yeah, I mean. But I think you might be able to see them, like, on the tray, like, underneath the stroller, because they're, like, stopped in the crosswalk, and you're, like, parallel or perpendicular to them.
Excellent. Yes, take control of the baby. It's the surest way to control humans. And I just have to, like, dart through between the lanes to get to them.
I think so. So you have to probably do, I imagine, because you're in this median thing and they're on the crosswalk. So there's probably that, like, space where there's, like, a turn lane. And so you have to just, like, dart through that section to get to them.
All right, I'm probably going to die, but I don't have any other choice. So I will try to do this. I try to dart through whatever I have to dart through.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a flight. Like, this is pretty clearly a flight. I'm just like, I'm pulling up like a Google Street View of Anaheim to, like, really clarify what I'm thinking of.
Krakatoa Boulevard, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I got a spot.
Here are the roads near Disneyland that would be.
Yeah. I see what's happening. Mm-hmm.
I roll a 4
on your flight.
I mean, for my credit, it's terrifying. There's metal things all around me.
I think you, like. Okay, if you're all right with this is unless you have a specific idea of how this goes wrong, because I was probably going to put this at a 6 for difficulty. So there is a possibility that you could combo in some adversity tokens here.
I got 0.
We do have 3.
I am lucky. So I will use, I don't have my own adversity tokens, but I'm a cat, so I will use the group's.
All right.
You did just fail. So you do get 1.
That's true. I don't think you technically get it if you
use it right away, or you
fail.
have infinite.
Well, if you re-roll and succeed, you probably don't.
Yeah, if you re-roll and succeed, then you never actually failed the roll because you're just re-rolling it.
I do the cat thing where I walk out and I totally fall on my face, but I pretend like it didn't happen, and I just like refuse to acknowledge it, and I roll a 9 the second time.
All right. So with the 9, because I had an idea of how it could go wrong, but I think this is good. So where do you end up on this stroller? Maybe it's one of those really big ones.
Where I belong, I leap into it.
Is this a double? Is there 2 kids here, or is this a 1 kid stroller?
What do we think?
I like if I may be bold.
Sure.
I like the ones that are the double. So there's like one child that's like 2 years older, and they get the back one, and then the baby's in front. So that you have like 2 awnings.
Okay. So
that the cat can hide a little bit easier.
Yeah. So we see Phantom leap in, and exactly what chat says. There's a baby, or you're probably in with the toddler, and they're like, Kitty! And they just grab you.
Hello, baby. I greet you and let go.
Kitty!
Oh, yuck!
Kitty!
No! Oh, baby saliva! That's my ear.
And the humans unlock the lock, and they're like, mom, 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 and then they push the stroller the rest of the way across the road. The light goes from green to red. We see it from the hand goes to the hand. And the 3 of you are now on the other side of the road. Kitty!
And I eat all the goldfish crackers.
If I didn't know what the humans would do to me if I hurt their lord, I would scratch the heck out of you.
I think at some point the humans will probably notice that the adults will notice that there's a cat in now with their small child.
So they're on my side of the street.
They're on your side of the street.
Okay. I think Coco's like, I gotta do a distraction. Because Coco thinks like distracting humans is like
that's Coco's go-to.
Right. So I think she's gonna like saunter up to the humans, and she's going to do the like, oh sir, oh my leg, I don't know what's wrong with it. And just kind of like drag it like really melodramatically and like
Yeah, charm. I feel like you're trying to charm them. So we'll say, this is like a 7. That's this is 7. Let's see how charming.
Yeah.
And if you're concerned about the low number of adversity tokens,
True.
$25 will help to Unexpected Productions. Will make more happen.
We only have one.
I critted that, so
Oh,
I have exploding dice with that. So my I actually end up rolling a 13.
very nice. So, tell us about this distraction. And everyone else, tell me how you utilize this distraction in order to escape from the child in the stroller.
Yeah, so I drag my I just march up to and basically block the stroller's path and do my my leg and just basically lean to the point where I just kind of fall over on my side. But I maintain very intense eye contact through that with my human.
The human leans over. They're completely ignoring this screaming cat and child going on behind them, and starts petting you and does that thing where they're like, "Oh, do you belong to?" And
I give them just a little lick.
And they're petting you, doing the looking around thing. Cheeky
Coco
Chip.
loves this. She's like, it's been so long since I've been pet.
It's been a day.
Someone has appreciated me.
It's been 24 hours.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever owned a small dog.
Yeah. It's been 5 minutes.
Why must I suffer?
Cheeky Chip, what do the two of you do while Coco is
So I have an important question for you, and I think I know the answer as soon as I ask it, but I think I'm morally obligated to ask it. Do they try to take a picture of the dog when this situation occurs?
I mean, do you want them to try and take a
I'm
picture?
not saying. I'm just asking you that question. Does that occur?
I had not thought about it, so
Okay, then you did. Okay, that's fine. That didn't happen.
they can totally take a picture of the dog. You can declare it. It happens.
I'm not declaring it. I'm just asking what these people do in reaction to a cute dog. That's all.
Cute old dog.
I mean, Coco's got a few miles on her. She doesn't look as good as she used to, maybe, but that's okay.
She's missing some teeth.
If that's the case, then I feel like my job is Cheeky we've crossed the street, and yet there is no goose.
That's true.
Cheeky will try to break away from the pack and try to get Renee's attention somehow.
Oh, Renee, you all have Renee's attention. Renee is completely bewildered by all of this.
I mean, I do the bunny equivalent of, "Hey, Renee, over here!"
I see you over there. I do not know why you are over there. We birds in general do not like to cross the road without very explicit, well understood reasons.
Mouse City! Mouse City is the reason. We have a very explicit reason.
It was down the road we were going.
No, you had to cross the road.
Well, that's news to me.
Follow the people, Renee.
So, Renee does the goose equivalent of shrugging his shoulders, which I guess would be just a ugh. And then he goes and finds the most important looking what he would imagine a businessman is.
Okay, what does he imagine a businessman?
With a briefcase, and I think he has an instinct for this.
Yes, the ones that it's good to shed on.
Yeah, and he so he just goes up to one, walks right up to him, sticks his bill in their pocket and pulls out their wallet, and begins waving it in front of them and honking.
All right.
I see what's happening here.
All right. What's your wallet stealing approach? Because I feel like there's
so
a role in there.
I am skilled at negative interactions with humans, so anything a 9 or easier, I will auto succeed on.
I think pulling. I don't think it's a 9 to pull a wallet out of someone's pocket. I was probably gonna put it at like a 10 or we'll say an 11. Because
Okay.
it's impressive
well, I
but
get a
expected if you're
+4 then
skilled at
to
it. Okay.
Uh,
It sounds like a brains thing.
okay. That's not a great stat for me, but we'll
I
try
mean,
it.
unless you're trying to just like tear it out of his pocket or
I mean, it's
maybe
very,
flight.
very directly without any sort of nuance or.
All right, I'll let you roll
like
brawn
he's
for it, but
going-
it'll go very differently than brains if you fail.
Okay. We'll do brawn then. And I get a 19.
All right. So with a 19, I think what happens, because it is brawn, you do get the wallet, but I think you also like rip their pocket open, like it's like their back pocket and just like tears it open.
That's fine.
And yeah, you feel good about it, but they realize, there's a draft in their butt now, and they whirl around and see a goose with their wallet.
So I'm going to step out into the street with their wallet and basically wait for them to start to approach me.
Yeah.
And like for them to basically block off traffic for me while I lead them across the road.
Are you going at the crosswalk, or are you just like jumping?
No,
into
I'm
the
just
road?
crossing.
No, you're just jumping into the road.
road.
Okay. So I feel like when you jump into the road, what do we think this is? What do we think?
I'm not leaping in front of like the fastest oncoming.
Yeah,
car.
no.
But
I
basically,
assume there's some element of caution,
I'm
but
sort of like leading him.
I feel like to execute this effectively, you're gonna have to be kind of smart about it. Like I feel like there's some brains going on in here.
Let's do this.
You do have your bonus, but let's say I think this is pretty difficult. But maybe not pretty difficult. Let's say it's a 12.
Okay.
It's a 12.
Okay, well, I rolled a 6, which means my dice explodes, so I get another roll.
Nice. Okay.
Which is an interesting feature of this game, where if you max the die, you get another shot to add to the original one. And this one I rolled a 2, so with the +4, it would be 12.
Okay, so with the +4, the 6, the 2, you just succeed on the 12. Like you just scrape by. So I think you step into the road and you didn't time it quite right. Like there is a car coming, but we see that moment where like the human steps into the road and they're big enough that the car can like notice them and like screeches. We just hear like ee! And it screeches to a stop, and I think the car behind them probably like they get rear-ended because everyone's like, and there is now a traffic accident. That
works for me entirely.
But the human like catches up to you and like now and grabs a hold of the wallet. But you are on the other side of the road.
I try to tug it out of his hand, just so I can fling it back to the other side of the road.
The fling is incredibly impressive. The tug probably less so. All right, I think the tug you automatically succeed on because you have the annoying human. So you wrestle, like explain this wrestling, and then we'll see where this wallet lands.
So he grabs it, and initially like I pull towards him, but then just like as I'm pulling it away, I suddenly just honk like right in his face, like and which startles him enough for me to grab it away from him. And then I instantly whip my neck back and fling it back across the road where it came from.
And I think, but you're good. It lands in the middle of the road.
That's fine. I can live with that.
And Renee, you have now successfully crossed the road. We see behind all of you, like, has Cheeky, Chip, and Phantom, have you exited the baby carriage at this point?
I have not.
I did, so I could get Renee's
Cheeky
attention.
did. Chip
would like to grab the bag of goldfish crackers if possible. Much like, again, I will use this reference till I die, the pizza rat in New York. Just like butt first backwards with the bag.
I mean, yes. I think Cheryl established that there is no bag. There's just a bunch of
goldfish crackers.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Claudia. Here, let me give you some of these.
No, you're right about, yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay, the new plan, Chip fits 4 in chips now.
Just fills your cheeks full of
Oh, yeah.
goldfish crackers.
And then just dives.
Okay.
Cheeky's just like, Renee, you controlled those things.
I did what was necessary.
How?
I just followed my bill. I do not like this place, this city.
This isn't Mouse City. We're not there yet.
No, but this place we are in is too loud and too crowded.
We see behind you, like, we're looking at you, and then, like, the camera turns around, and we just see, like, this rear-ended car, and people, like, standing out there, like, yelling at each other, like, bah, bah, and then honking and screaming.
Yeah, I'm doing, like, the thing where the ninja, like, turns away from the explosion and doesn't even acknowledge it there. So, for me, I'm just, like, pretending I didn't even do that.
All right. Phantom, under cover of Coco, what do? You are very quiet is the answer to that.
I'm sorry, baby king, but it's time to do this. I retract my claws to do non-fatal damage, and I punch the baby in the face as hard as I can, which in cat language just means I take my tiny cat feet and like just pat him in the face.
I mean, I think that sounds like a fight. It does sound like a fight roll, but it's against a baby. So I'll make it a 4.
I rolled a 4.
Yay!
I defeated a baby.
You're like pushing against it, then you just...
Coco's in the middle of like getting all this wonderful attention that she's been so deprived of, and like doing her act, and I think she just has a moment of like looking over and seeing Phantom hitting this baby, and is just like horrified.
And it's like you don't even hurt the baby, but you just like smack it in like the face, and it just starts going, and then the volume just goes from there, and the parents turn around, and that is your moment. They stop paying attention to you, Coco.
Oh, hello there, gentlemen and lady. Please release me from your lord. Please beseech your lord to release me.
The baby is like, lets go of you, and just like screams.
I gracefully fall out of the carriage.
You land next to Coco.
Well, I taught that baby king what's for.
I can't believe you hit a baby. We're not supposed to do that.
Supposed to? I'm a cat.
We can discuss this later, but I think it's really a good time for us to chase it.
I agree. We need to get to this large mouse dinner city.
It's true. We're pretty close to it. It should be here somewhere, I think.
We should follow the sparkly humans.
Yes.
And
yeah, I think Coco's gonna look. I mean, while she's making sure the humans aren't like
they rally and probably disappear. I imagine you all like pull over to the side and like get into this slightly bushy, grassy area.
There's tall bushes.
Tall bushes.
That
Yeah.
bush.
I think Coco, like, she looks through like a series of human beings where it's like person, and she's like looking for sparkly people, maybe with like mouse ears.
You spot him. You definitely spot him. You find a bunch of people headed in like the same direction with the mousy ears on.
This mouse city must be very popular with human beings. They're wearing a lot of mouse paraphernalia.
Maybe they're your cousins, Chip.
The humans?
What? Did they have ears like yours?
My cousins are the rats, and they're pretty rad. Though they're not invited to the forest anymore.
Drama.
I still do not believe this mouse city is real. I will have to see it with my own eyes.
Renee, how
Look
could
at
you
all
not
these humans wearing their mouse worshipping costumes.
I cannot decide if just because they have this strangely anthropomorphized version of our friend Chip here, that it is in fact a great mouse city. Such a thing I have never heard of. And I have heard of everything that is important.
But you're not a mouse, and mice have very specific lore. And we're almost there, Renee. Just take my hand.
Listen, there is a place called Wisconsin where people wear cheeses on their heads, and if you follow them, you can eat as much cheese as you want. I've heard it from other cats. So it stands to reason if we follow the people with mouses on their heads, we can enjoy as many mice as we want.
Well, I am very curious to see what is at the end of this trail you are following.
At this point, the people in front of us, there's like two,
Yeah, you're just following.
like girls in their late teens, take their phone out to take a selfie, and Cheeky just bolts straight up and runs.
Towards them or away from them?
Away, like past them. Like they take this selfie thing, and when they pull the phone out, Cheeky wants no
just,
part
like,
of it, and
perpendicular
just bolts.
towards like into whatever like hotel parking lot is like just not in the direction of the road.
Cheeky, no!
We just did this.
You are all so confusing.
Well,
I'd like to think that Cheeky ran in the direction of the park, but
you know, you could always solve this with
we'll
our,
find
with our
out.
D12 grenade dice.
Phantom,
It's true. Let's
Phantom
roll on the
follows
chart.
after Cheeky, worried that Cheeky's going to eat all the mice.
Do you think Cheeky has like separated themselves from the group, or are you still like catch up withable?
it depends on how much time elapses. I am a bunny.
You are the
But my
fastest.
But my flight is not great, so I'm not like an award-winning bunny. Just average bunny when it comes to running away.
Did the bunny head towards the mouse city just now? Should we follow it?
I think Cheeky was triggered by that cell phone. We should follow her then.
Over my shoulder, I yell, "The magic box! It's no good!"
Cheeky, come back! Coco's just gonna like.
All right, I will also run.
You are also very weird. Renee takes off at a fairly normal pace, but he's big, so it keeps pace pretty well with the others.
Comparatively.
Do we need a roll to catch up? Is that a thing? Do we do that?
We could do that. I think it also could probably be resolved without rolling. I mean, that's really the question of like, Cheryl, do you want Cheeky to get separated or not?
Cheeky has a fear of cell phones, and
Yeah.
this is a dangerous
There's a lot
place
of people
for
around with cell phones.
afraid people.
I mean,
So-
I feel like even as you are running, you see more people like pull out their cell phones. They start calling, they're texting, they're like looking on them. You're like kind of being surrounded by them.
So I'd say I probably run about a block, and then I get like overwhelmed by the surroundedness, and then run up to the base of the palm tree and just sit there and try to blend in with the palm tree, and just like I'm super skinny and a little bit up, and just like.
What is the matter?
So I feel like, yeah, the four of you all sort of head in the same direction that Cheeky went, and then we see this moment where, like, you walk past, and then you sort of double back and like, then realize that the ears are sticking out from, like, behind a bush.
This is normal for Cheeky. She has a whole 5G conspiracy thing going on, I think.
The magic boxes are bad.
These things that the people are holding? You do not need to worry about them. I will show you. And I go up to a person, I grab the cell phone out of their hand.
They're just, like, you know, their hands down by their side. Yeah, I think you can probably just grab one. Let's do a quick brains roll to see how, like, successfully I think you spot the correct mark.
I got a 3.
You engage in, like, you go for someone who's got it like on like a clip, like on their belt because they're a dork, and you just like pull it, but then you end up like pulling the person, and
Perfect.
like the whole thing they just sort of tumble and like fall on top of you, And there is a tussle of feathers and human.
Some people who have cell phone belt clips are cool, though.
Sure, Tony.
See, Renee! He killed Renee! This magic box killed Renee!
My head emerges from under the person with the cell phone in my bill, and I say like with it in my out of the corner of my mouth, see, it's perfectly fine, and I like crunch it to destroy it for them to see that there's nothing to be afraid of the cell phone.
Wow.
You are a wizard!
Then I spit it out onto the ground.
Well, Cheeky, it looks like Renee is able to protect you from all the magic boxes here. Maybe you ought to stay close to him.
I will stay close to Renee. You are so powerful. The magic box at home turns the lights on and off at will. And the humans are always mad at it and poking at it. And it controls their emotions. But you slayed it like a dragon.
Guys, emotions are just a matter of not letting them affect who you are inside. And I like pull myself out from underneath this person that's on top of me, and I like ruffle my feathers, and I rejoin the group.
The person is just yelling at you, but also like at their phone.
Look,
I'm just gonna keep saying ridiculous things I do until you make me roll for something.
Yeah, no, I know.
Renee, I can't eat a cell phone, and I'm about to starve. We need to get to this mouse city.
Yeah.
I do not believe it exists, but we should follow your mouse friend.
This way. And I think Chip was curious about the magic box because I don't think Chip has ever seen one before. But like, it's not something edible. Well, actually, the goose did chew it. No.
Oh, God.
Focus.
Wait,
I think
my mouse friend? I thought you guys were an item.
Excuse moi?
Well, you were together when I met you.
When you say an item,
I don't mean to define it. I just thought you knew each other well.
I had never had seen this particular mouse before, and if I had seen it, I would not have known, because, please do not take this the wrong way, you are all the same.
Ah! We're not the same. Look at this. And I think Chip like runs up and shows like the little cut like crack in the tooth. Like this is from chewing a rock.
Oh, there is a little, there is a flaw in your tooth.
Cool, huh? I had many. I had to go to the vet for a rock.
There's many of us, but I'm different. And you're too big to go into a mouse hole anyway, so what do you even know about us?
I apologize. I did not mean this as offense. I just simply, before now, have never spent any substantial amount of time with any of your kind.
Well, that's probably why you've never heard of Big Mouse City, the greatest place ever, which we're right next to.
And you sort of point, and there's like you're on that row is like the big fence that's like leading to the main entrance, and it's like there's just mice pictures and like graphics all the way along it.
Maybe that's why you don't understand having friends or family or being a pet, because you're so lonely and you can't even tell things apart.
I do not think I am lonely. I just am used to being alone.
I would like to sniff the fence.
What you looking for?
I'm looking for smells of other animals, like especially dogs and mice.
Yeah. So you give a little sniff around the fence, and you definitely pick up plenty of smells. Like there clearly been other animals around here.
Cool. Do I think that we would fit through the fence?
At like first glance, maybe not, but I think as you sort of sniff around, you definitely will spot a few places where there seem to be like smaller gaps in the fence. Like I think at like first glance you're like, oh, Chip can definitely get through. Maybe Cheeky, but you might have to like pull apart or make a hole a little bit bigger for the rest of you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we need to get on the other side of this fence. It looks like Mouse City maybe is inside somewhere. It's better, maybe it's better to try to get through the fence here than to try to go through the main gate with the humans.
Yes, I agree. Humans are always putting things in stupid places. We should just go over, under, around it, or destroy it.
Besides, if it's a mouse city, it seems like the small ways to get in would be the best ways.
You're right.
I do not think I will fit through there.
Just jump over it.
You just slayed a magic box.
Use your wings.
It is not the same. What I missed. What kind of a fence is it? Like,
I'm not gonna say that I just looked at a picture of it, but I definitely just looked. It's like so you're kind of on this road. There's a sidewalk, and it's like a chain link fence. There's some like barbed wire at the top of it. It's got like probably some sort of netting coverage. So like Chip can definitely scurry through the chain link. There's probably a spot you could like pull the wires up and make it like a larger entrance.
I suppose I could try to climb over this fence.
You are freaking. You can literally fly.
Okay, well, some backstory. Renee has never flown. He's never.
So
He
does
doesn't-
anyone point this out to Renee in character?
I mean, I think I said something to him last episode about flying.
Yeah.
He was like,
Yeah, I brushed it off most likely.
Just get. I mean, can all the other animals get through? I know. And me, Cheeky.
Probably reliably the only one who could definitely get through would be Chip. If you look a little bit more, I'm sure you could find a spot that's like big enough for Cheeky. 'Cause
Coco,
Cheeky's
how
smaller.
is your digging these days?
okay. I'm enthusiastic, but I'm slow.
I'm also enthusiastic about digging, but the humans never let me.
It's very
Now is
diggable.
our time.
Yes!
So
We were made for this!
you find
That's
us.
all I wanted to do for 13 years.
You have to like go along a little bit for a spot where it's like the chain link fence goes into dirt instead of concrete. But you find one. It's not super hard. There are like plants and bushes in front of it, and the two of you are gonna have at it.
I will help as well.
You're gonna play with the dirt.
Well, I don't know how you cover up your own feces, but
I get the humans to do it for me. They value it so much they put it in little bags.
Not me. They have a special box where they collect mine. I don't know what they do with it, but it must be valuable.
Yes, humans are weird.
While they're doing all of this, I just walk up to Chip and say, I did not mean to be cruel earlier on. For what it's worth, I think you are a very attractive member of your species.
It's the tooth. But I think at this point, like, Chip gets really tiny and almost invisible in the grass. I shouldn't have said those things. I think you are not a pack animal. You were not raised to be in a tiny spot where the warmth of your siblings are the only thing keeping you alive. I
was
not raised at all.
At this point, Cheeky just bounds out for a second. He's like, "How big is your butt?" And kind of tries to like stand up and down, try to size. Okay, and goes back.
I like turn around and look at my own butt, and then by the time I go to answer, they're already gone.
Coco's like, is it big? Is it too? Is this
It's
big?
2 Cocos.
Okay.
I truly think that maybe if by hanging out with us you see like it's kind of cool sometimes, and we get stuck in the middle of the road, but we all got good things involved, and I know you don't believe in Big Mouth City. That's fair. But I think you're going to believe in Big Mouth City. And I think if maybe if you believe really hard in the trueness of yourself and you think really big and hard and you perhaps dream about it, you can fly over this fence because dreaming is believing and believing is dreaming. And I feel like if it's going to happen anywhere, it's going to happen at Big Mouth City.
Phantom digging is not your gift.
Phantom is like actively put dirt back to where you have been digging.
I can't help it. It's my instinct to dig tiny holes and cover it back up. I've never had to dig a hole for a bagpipe-shaped animal before.
What's a bagpipe?
Like Renee, but with 5 heads and 10 times the honking.
Is this enough?
Well,
Renee, come on! This is your gateway to Mouse City and believing.
it's
I'm
definitely
about to-
big enough for the rest of you.
I'm about to respond to Chip, but I hear Cheeky, and so instead I turn and I go and I look at their hole, and I stick my head down in it, and so like poke around and through, and come back out and say, I am impressed. This is quite the hole you have dug, and I don't really know myself whether or not I will fit until I try. So
Do you want to leave this to the dice?
I think it's the dice's responsibility.
Okay. All right. Let's put this firmly in the middle. We'll say it's a 10.
So who? I mean, is this a question for the people who built the hole, or is it a question?
Yeah, I
for
mean, I
me
guess that's.
trying to
How do we
squeeze through
want to resolve this? Because I feel like
I would
there's-
propose that the sizing is brains, because like figuring
yeah, that
out
makes
that.
sense. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
I think that
probably
makes
my
sense.
bronze if the brains did not suffice.
Yeah, let's see. So we'll say it's a 10 for brains to figure it out. And if you succeed on that, then Renee will be able to fit through, and if not, then Renee will get stuck.
And
So,
I should roll grit for managing not to starve through all of this.
One of the two, or I guess one of the 3 diggers, feel free to roll, and then the other one can
so,
throw an adversity
Kiki,
token.
Do you think this, since you were the one that inquired of the size of Renee's butt, that maybe you were doing the metric on that?
Yeah, I rolled an 8.
Well, you can add +1 with adversity tokens, and we do have 2 people helping, so both of them could add an adversity token,
So
So
I can observe the entrance and say, I do not know much, but I do know my posterior well enough to say probably will not fit with much grace through this hole. And I am nothing if not a graceful animal.
So do we want to spend 2 adversity tokens to make it a 10?
That was my
Okay,
adversity
that's your
token.
adversity token. So we've got
Yes.
one of the group ones, and then who else is helping? I mean, Coco is the obvious one.
I
right?
helped.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
rolled a 1 on for my digging.
You actively did not help. Coco though did. So, Coco, how do you assist?
So am I rolling? Is that what's happening?
No, you're just you spend
I'll
an
give
adversity
them a-
token from the
yeah.
pool, so we add another 1 to the roll, so we're adding 2, which makes it the 10, which means it will be successful, but with a little bit of assistance.
Yes.
Do you do anything in particular, or are you just helping with the digging? Coco.
Well, since you asked,
I did ask.
I think Coco will probably try to get a hold on the goose and help pull him through.
I love it. All right, so we start and you're going through Renee, and then Coco is just like maybe
So
not.
which pulling? So from like the next side?
Yeah, I think
You're
meaty
gonna-
shoulder. You grab the shoulder and just start dragging.
Okay. I would like to know specifically how Coco is going to
Well, the
accomplish
good
this.
news is Coco doesn't really have that many teeth, so it's not like she's gonna pierce you.
Just-
Uh, But
Where is she grabbing? I think is
were you
relevant.
wearing a watch earlier?
Uh,
'Cause if you're
Yeah.
still
I
wearing
mean, how would you get it off once you put it on?
I do believe I am actually still wearing a watch.
Sorry, what was that?
I do believe I'm still wearing a watch. Yes,
Yeah,
it's like hanging around my neck.
I think Coco's gonna like grab the watch and try to like. I'm not saying it's gonna really help. It's just Coco.
It's moral support. It's some
Poor
some
dog
emotional
is solving a
support.
problem.
And this isn't, I mean, Renee also said, like, I don't know if I'm going to fit gracefully. So Cheeky is super dejected for a moment, but then steals themselves and is like, sort of scoots down and because bunny paws are pretty flat. So, like, sticks them underneath Renee and starts, like, it's like curling, but with the goose.
Oh, okay.
I think also when Coco starts grabbing at the watch, Renee will instantly say, "You may not have my treasure," and attempts to push forward even stronger because of that to like clear out of the hole.
So with this beautiful moment of helping, we managed to get Renee through this slightly too small hole. You probably like leave like a feather behind stuck on this this chain link fence. Everyone else easily slips through the hole because they are smaller than Renee. And you have now arrived. You are inside the chain link fence. You probably see right in front of you this like strange sort of elevated structure, and like maybe right at that moment the monorail or the train like comes rattling over and like speeds past above your heads. But you're in the back area. Like here there is no there's not, it doesn't look exciting here. But as you look around, I think you probably head in, right? To where are you gonna all head?
Yeah, and I'm gonna just keep an eye out for any animal that I can ask for directions.
So you're sort of sniffing around. You're all sniffing around, and
There's a lot of really good smells here.
there's some really good smell. You can smell like distantly. There's a lot of food scents, just drifting towards you on the air. There's
way. We
popcorn
should go that way.
and churros,
It
and
smells
it just you have that cartoon moment where you sort of like drift forward on like the aromas, and you begin heading in the direction of the smells. And probably like at a certain moment, Coco, you're like sniffing around and you're like, I smell rats. You definitely smell like the familiar scent of rats. And like right at that moment, we see around you, there are emerging from like small areas, and around you, you see just a horde, like maybe 10 or so rats. They all just sort of emerge and appear. And one of them steps forward, and this is a rat that if they could, they would have a tiny top hat and a monocle, but they are a rat, so they do not. And they go, "Excuse me, what are you doing here in our territory?"
Coco does a little
They're like sitting back on their feet.
downward dog. I play bow. And I say, good people, we are journeyers here to your wonderful city. I hope you will grant us safe passage.
I like lower my head down next to Chip and like mutter out the side of my bill. I thought you said it was a mouse city, not a rat city.
Well, everyone's welcome at Big Mouse City.
Except us?
Well, I mean, that's not what I was told, Big Mouse City. And I think Chip picks up and it's like, isn't everyone welcome at Big Mouse City?
And this rat, they look at you and they're like, but I see you have one of them with you. And all of the rats turn to look at Cheeky. You bring a bunny with you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, she's really more of a dog, though.
The bunnies are not allowed in our territory. The Accords! The Accords, the Accords, the Accords. And they just all
Now,
begin
wait just a second.
whispering and muttering among themselves.
What are these Accords? Were they written by squirrels or something?
You know not of the Accords, the great Mouse City agreements. And they continue to whisper amongst themselves. We will take you into our lair. We will teach you of these accords, and you will tell us who you swear fealty to.
May I ask you a question? Is that not a bunny there? I point. Is there a picture of Thumper anywhere?
You're in like the back area, so there probably isn't pictures around it, but maybe, sure. We'll say there's a picture of Thumper. It's like
Is
propped
that
up.
not a bunny?
You are strangers in our land. Come, 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 come. And the rats just continue to whisper, and they start herding you towards
This is probably fine.
like a series of
I'm a
tunnels.
cat. I'm immune to being herded.
Do they leave you behind?
No, I follow.
You
Of
follow.
my own choosing.
Yeah.
I lean to Cheeky and I say, keep your distance, but don't look like you're keeping your distance.
Which distance do you want? The forward one or the back one or a side one?
Uh, Forward. Be casual.
And
Okay.
as you walk casual, that is where we will take our first break. You have discovered the rats of Big Mouse City and the Accords. The Accords.
The Accords. Oh wait, is this like in Star Wars where now we're gonna go to the Senate and we're gonna spend the whole episode like in the Senate?
And there was a trade embargo. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will rejoin you all again shortly. Use this stretch, do your thing. But first, I have 3 donations that came through to read out. Justin Coven with $50. You guys are the ones who got me to host and GM a Shadowrun game. I'm so sorry. A Shadowrun game with my friends. Loved Mfek, and I love this new pet adventure. Again, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry that you probably were like, I'll just put a door and that will be the entire adventure.
What do you mean by that, Lauren? What do you mean by that?
The next one was from Vasco de Gamer. Onwards to the happiest place on earth. Pet Heroes, Big Mouse City, or Bust.
Yay!
And
Thank you.
lastly from Honk! Honk! Honk, 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 honk! Hiss! Honk! Hiss! Is the entire message.
Delightful.
All right, thank you so much. We will be right back after our break. Take care of yourself. Go get some rest, and we'll see you soon.
Fill up your water.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody. We are all just recovering from a series of horrors that Tony subjected us to, and you should be grateful that you were not subjected to them. I hope you all had a wonderful and refreshing break, and I think we are ready to jump back into the action with our Pets Go Home. But as a reminder, we are raising funds for Unexpected Productions, a local theater in the Seattle area. If you are able to do so, please consider donating. It will also help influence the game. We have, I believe, we are back at 1 adversity token, so things are looking a little dicey.
We did goose curling, and we did it successfully.
And we
We
made it to
curled
Big
the
Mouse
goose.
City.
We curled the goose. So the group of our intrepid animal adventurers have crossed over the gate. They have now officially entered the territory of Big Mouse City. And as they wandered in, following their noses towards the delectable scents of Big Mouse City, the smells of popcorn and churros and other delicious and like turkey legs and all of those
Waffle
things.
cone smell.
Waffle cones just
Do I
wafting
smell any mouse?
on the air towards them. You probably
Yes.
smell mice, but more importantly, Coco, our dear chihuahua, picked up on the scent of rats. And shortly after that, the group of you were surrounded by, just under a dozen rats all around you. One of them approached you and began speaking, and was, 1, flabbergasted that you would have a bunny with you, and 2, was surprised that you did not know of the Accords. So they are taking you to their lair in order to teach you of their ways and maybe have you swear fealty to someone you don't necessarily know. And so the rats lead you through these, first, like, you sort of squeeze through, like, maybe an area between, like, 2 buildings, and then eventually they, like, lead you into some, pull some stuff up to the side and lead you through into a hole, and you enter, unbeknownst to you all, but we sort of pan out as the audience and see this sort of white, kind of dome-shaped building. It looks a little bit like a spiral with, like, a pointy thing at the top. as you all enter into this building and inside, you hear like sounds kind of off in the distance. There's like human screaming, but it's like mostly that like joyful screaming, but also occasionally like terrified screaming. There's rattling noises. There's a sort of deep humming thrum of music, but and some sort of bass that is like traveling through whatever structure this building is. But I don't think you really see anything from here because you're kind of in like maintenance sort of back end tunnels. And then I think at some point the group of you sort of the rats that are hurting you in this direction, one of them, he pauses and he turns around and he's like, "Be wary. We must cross the territory through the great expanse of night. We will walk. Be wary around you. There are dangerous things afoot, but on the other side we will reach the lair, our home, and there we will instruct you into the Accords and induct you into our world. Welcome to Big Mouse City." He like pulls aside a thing, and the group of you step in, and this room that you step into is pitch black except for like pinpoints of light that look like stars, and around you there are loud noises. There's like thrumming music. There is a whooshing of wind as something comes past you that you're not really sure what it is. You hear the sound of the human screaming is very loud, but it does this like
They're killing them in there.
As it goes past you. And this is the moment where everyone in the audience realizes you just walked into Space Mountain.
Yeah, wait. Big Mouse City isn't supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be food and snacks and safety and friendship and family and...
More importantly, mice. There's supposed to be mice here.
Come, this way.
I don't think anyone's being hurt for real here.
Are there mice
We
here?
have to keep up with the rats or we will be stuck here forever.
You there, rat. Are there mice here?
There are mice here. The mice have not signed the Accords. They do not partake in us so much.
So they're not, you wouldn't say you protect them in any sort of Accordian
Come, this way,
way.
this way.
All I really want to know is, was there any point where like a kid might have looked in a direction or something like that and seen a parade of rats with like a goose, a rabbit, a dog, a cat, and a mouse like in the middle of that parade? Like that's very important
in Space
to me,
Mountain.
too. At any point from when we were like basically
No,
being
not
shut
yet,
down.
unfortunately, because you're in like the back area, so you have not entered the park proper.
Okay, that's too bad. It feels like it would have been a good sight to see.
Don't worry, I'm sure that'll happen at some point. I'm confident. I'm confident that'll happen at some
Some
point.
janitor though.
So do you follow the rats?
Shiki is absolutely
Yes.
like sticking to the rats like glue. I don't know if I'm interpreting the instructions that Coco gave me correctly, but Coco said stay up, like stay ahead or something.
Yeah.
I'm just like
Keep your distance, but don't look like you're keeping your distance.
Phantom's trying to be as charming as possible because he wants information on the rats. This is magnificent, this place that you live.
Yes, it is.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We work hard to maintain our territory.
I understand, especially against these mice. You might even need somebody to help get them in line, I imagine.
It is not the mice that concerns us. It is not the mice. It is not the mice. And there's like muttering again, just like echoes reverberate throughout this group of rats.
you're
I
very
like
good at agreeing on things.
while we're walking, I lower my head down to Chip's level, and I sort of do like my side whisper to Chip. This place, I did not think it would exist, and you have proven me wrong. I have never been wrong before, but today I was wrong. If this place is not what you thought it would be, and you would like to no longer be in the Mouse City, you let me know, and I will make sure you get out of here.
I think we're gonna get there. I think if we just work hard and travel, go the distance, we'll make there. Somehow we'll be strong, and against every odds.
Will every mile be worth your while?
Yeah, it will.
The crowds will cheer when they see your face. Great warm welcome will be waiting for you.
It's like they said they welcomed us to be their guests.
Basically. So I think this will be a good place to visit, and I'm looking forward to experiencing this, and then going immediately back home because it is scary here.
No, they're like, whoa! Comes past you, and you continue crossing. You follow them. They go up and they go down and they go around. It's very disorienting in this space. It is dark and you are sticking with the rats, and they eventually lead you all the way across in there, and they sort of scurry through another hole that they take you through. And you go a little bit more down a small hallway, and then eventually it kind of opens up into this, what you imagine to be some sort of storage room, maybe. You're not really sure, but there are like crates and boxes and just sort of like random things in this room. But there are many rats about, and they are mostly going about their business. Like this is some sort of colony base. But as you enter, they sort of all stop, and then this like whispering sort of travels through them. And they bring you up to what you would envision to be sort of the equivalent of some sort of like rat throne. And there is quite a large rat sitting there. And he's sort of leaning back. He's not a king rat. He's not like tied into a ball with the rest of the rats, but he's like kind of big. He's got like a pizza. He's a pizza rat. He's got like a big slice that he's like leans over and nibbles from. And he's like, hello, yes.
Yes, hello.
Are our guests, it would seem.
Wow.
Thank you for your hospitality.
My name is Hector von Peaceblum.
Would you say that again?
No.
Hector von Peaceblum.
And you are unaware of the accords, it seems, but you bring a bunny amongst your ranks. And also one that seems akin.
We're pleased to make your acquaintance and visit your land.
Yes. We have our territory here in Big Mouse City, but there is war.
Oh no, it's not squirrels, is it?
No, it is worse.
How can it be worse?
What's worse than squirrels?
We conflict with the bunnies and the crows. There is the great war of Big Mouse City, and you know nothing of it, and yet you stumble in here like you own the place.
Well,
But you bring one of the feather and one of the fluff with you.
We're just looking for people we lost.
I have heard
There is a lost
though,
and found here.
I have
most
heard there are
stays.
problematic crows associated with this place.
There's one particularly bad one, but even the rest of the crows don't like him.
We are.
Come forward, kin. Speak. Takes a bite of pizza.
I hope there's a small brick just like beside for talking.
Yeah, there's the like
a little brick.
A little thread spool for you to stand on.
Exactly.
Eats pizza.
Apologies for not knowing. We just heard so many amazing things about Big Mouse City and how there's food for everyone, and you never have to go to bed on time, and at night instead of stars you can see big brights, and they go pew, and they're kind of scary, but if you stay up you can see the best night of your life. And I just why do we have to we want to stay together. And I think if you've seen how this bunny can kick and how this goose can take what's rightfully theirs.
I feel like as you start listing off their like threatening qualities, like the rat's like
I just think you could see that we should just get perhaps a day pass, so we can fast pass through the city and get everything we need to do. I mean, if this is a charm, I think if there's an opportunity.
Takes a bite of pizza. Yeah, Pizza Planet, right next door. So you are attempting to charm the Hector von Peaceblum, a name greatly provided for us by our donators. Thank you. So I feel like, what's your goal here? Like,
To get freedom through the land.
okay.
Without
I think that's pretty difficult. Excuse me, that was a burp. I think that's pretty difficult. I think let's make that a 14. A 14 charm.
I get a +1 for being a child mouse.
You are a child mouse.
But I'm also rolling a D10, so this one might not be.
It might
easy.
explode. You could get some assistance from others. We do only have one group adversity token, but some people might still have some of their own.
And I would like to help her with her charm, if I could.
Yeah, you can wait until seeing if the die explodes.
Okay.
Or there's a complete failure.
It did. I got a 10.
Oh, it does explode. Ooh, all right, we're at an 11. Let's see if you can.
I got a 5 +5, so I got 16 total.
16. You stand there before Hector von Peaceblum. The rat takes a big chunk of pizza, it like drips down on the grease, and he like slurps it.
This rat knows how to live.
This rat does know how to live.
Yeah.
You said you are here looking for lost things. There is a lost and found here. Many lost things find their way there, and then they are found and no longer lost. Yes. Very well. I, King of the Rats, declare that you 5 may travel through our territory unheeded. Fellow Ratkin will also offer you the assistance, but they will not fight on your behalf. If you enter into any conflicts with any of the other parties of the Accords, they will not engage. We cannot risk war again. We lost too many.
Sense.
We've lost so many.
How many parties are there?
There are 3. The war is over Main Street. We, the rats, we control this area around you. The Space Mountain, the future, as well as the fantasy. Those are our domains. The bunnies, they control Toontown and New Orleans Square. They also have Sawyer's Island. Stay off the island. It's dangerous. And lastly, the crows, they have laid claim over adventure and frontier land. Main Street, that is war turf.
Do these words make sense to any of you? I do not understand barely even a little piece of it.
So, you may go forth. Be wary. You must cross through Main Street to get to the lost and founds. We will take you to the edge of our territory.
Begging your pardon, Lord Peacebloom, you neglected to mention the party of mice. Where are the mice?
The mice are allies to us, but they do not live. They do not... What is the word I am looking for? Not frolic. Thrive in Big Mouse City. It is loud and full of many things. They are small.
It's called Big Mouse City.
Oh, you wish to know of the biggest mouse?
Oh, yeah.
The biggest mouse is elusive, but can normally be found during the parade. Upon the main float. It occurs every day at 3 p.m.
I seen a parade once on the TV. It was majestic.
Majestic.
But be wary, the parade crosses through Main Street, as well as near Fantasyland. But you may need to enter into hostile territory, and we will not be able to offer you assistance there.
Well, you have been very benevolent, and we thank you for your kindness and understanding.
You are not like the other bunnies. They multiply so quickly. They're so
I don't
cute.
really hold truck with any of that. I don't like to be judged by my sexuality.
The humans, they find them so adorable. They do not shoo them away. They let them frolic and play amongst the grass. But no, we are forced to live amongst the filth. He says, just like pizza grease dripping down his front.
I can see why that would be frustrating.
It is indeed. And the crows, they have the skies. They do not understand.
3 p.m. means when the bus comes and the 2 twins walk in the door.
I would like to point out one of you is wearing a watch.
We don't know what that means.
Do we know
I
how
don't
to
actually.
What? Is it digital?
You try and you figure that out for yourselves. There's things you can do, but in the meantime, you have some time before the parade where you will catch the biggest mouse.
It's when the night spots come from the west side of the house.
I do not know what this means.
Light nap spots. They are bright squares on the floor.
We are not allowed to stay and linger in the sun.
Oh, you do
Ours
have
is
it
an
terribly.
underground life. The humans, they do not like us.
There is a parade.
Indeed.
I am a majestic creature. I should be in. the
You
parade.
are very different than the others of the flock.
I would like to be in this parade.
Well, we will take you to the parade route at the edge of our territory.
Let's
I
go.
would like to go there.
Well, onwards, take them! Bring me another slice! You see like a bunch of rats just dragging a whole pizza. It's like it's just a whole tray. There's like chicken nuggets on it and stuff. Clearly stolen this tray from a small child.
Something is bothering me.
Never mind, we are not done. Yes.
No, I'm talking to the girl.
Okay, we're in a small little huddle.
As you huddle up.
We're like being escorted. It's like,
Yes, is it your rash again?
well, yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. If we go into crow territory, then they'll think Cheeky is the enemy. But if we go into bunny territory, they might think that Renee is an enemy because he's a bird. So my point is, maybe we ought to disguise ourselves as humans.
Should be easy. Just
Seems logical.
I am not interested in this war of theirs. Anything we can do to not have to take part in it sounds good to me.
And I think, you know what? This humans love my big mouse. I will just become the big mouse in the city.
That's right. It's Mouse City.
I'm welcomed everywhere. Humans must love me. And I will state,
And for the rest of us, I was thinking that, if we stacked one on top of each other, we might be the same height as a person.
Oh, yes, and I've heard Renee. Renee sounds much like a human when you do this. I put a paw on his belly and I push it in to try to make him honk.
Honk!
Just like a human.
I would like to be in this parade, and if this is the easiest way for us to get to the parade, I think we should do it.
I'm just gonna pause
is
here
it?
and say, if people want this plan to succeed, adversity
We're
token
gonna need some
will
adversity
certainly help, and will also help a good cause.
We're also gonna need a trench coat.
There are times where like there's these things that happen as a GM, like when you're running a game where like the players say something and you're like, yes. It's not a thing I thought of, but in no way I'm as surprised that those are the words that came out of your mouth.
if this is gonna work, we need the thing that humans love most.
Money.
Clothing. They always wear it. They never are without it.
And
Oh,
you
yeah.
notice that when they make cartoons of animals, they put them in clothes?
It's true. Well, and also, the twins do put me in clothes sometimes, so I'm experienced at clothing.
So you just need to find clothes that will fit all of us.
When I was
Together.
at the shelter, they put a bow tie on me so I'd be more adoptable.
So you're experienced in clothing too.
I once went to a parade in summer, and people wore clothing at it. Not just normal clothing. There was all sorts of clothing, like an old man in a red and white striped suit with a white beard. But it wasn't real. If there's a parade, there's bound to be clothing.
So can we do like a planning montage where we all roll brains and see what happens?
I mean, that I'm on board with it. So I feel like what happens is the rats, like, they lead you out. You exit this time not through, you exit through, and here's the thing, you exit through the gift shop. So I feel like they take you to the edge and you see in front of you, like, as you're talking about this, just this whole, like, array of merch and random things as you exit through, like, the Space Mountain gift shop, as you're all like, we need clothes. And I do like the idea. I feel like maybe each of you rolls, like, whatever way you think you're going to contribute to this. Like that thing that you're going to contribute, and then we will construct our human
Street
disguise. Like,
Okay.
And so, yeah, you know that there's a parade, and you also know that there's a lost and found, so that might be a thing you want to work towards. But yeah, there is
I'm ready.
there's the
This is
gift
what I'm
shop in
made
front
to
of
be.
you. All right, so
Okay.
everyone tell me, like, what is your approach? What are you doing? Cheeky, what are you doing?
Well, I feel like I'm pretty fast with my little front paws, and so I'd like to help with the manipulation of the arms with my fight stat.
So how about for the acquisition of the clothing? Because we've got
I see
you.
we're putting things together. Well then, yeah.
Because I feel like the actual construction of the human is really just based on whatever challenges you meet once you have assembled the Voltron.
I want to fight a small child for their hoodie.
Yes. Great. Okay. You are fighting a small child for their hoodie. Renee, what are you doing?
I'm going to help with that by finding like a small child and like separating it from its parents and like scaring it into an alley by honking at it so that Cheeky can do their thing.
All right. So the two of you are tag teaming, stealing a hoodie from a small child. Phantom, Coco, or Chip, what are you doing?
I'm going to try to charm a child into giving me some clothing.
Okay. Coco, Chip, what are you doing?
I think I'm going to try to find somebody, like one of the characters of the park. I want to find, I want to basically take a cape, like a drapey cape from somebody.
Okay. You're trying to steal a cape. Chip?
I will point out, kids get costumes in Disneyland, and
They
they
do?
often have Velcro capes.
They do?
So, so that might be. But I think what I'm gonna try to tackle is on the bottom of the gift shop. Often things are knocked off the things. I'm gonna look for a pair of sunglasses. So
Nice.
I'm gonna try to
Nice.
it's small enough that I could drag it out, and I think that will help us go full human.
All right. I like it. Okay,
And
so
I have a clarification for you for mine when you're
Yeah.
ready.
all right, so let's do the mug a child for their hoodie combo
And,
plan.
I think we sit and we look at the different options.
Yeah.
And like those are too small. Maybe one of the almost adults.
I think if I get a long enough cape, we don't have to have pants.
Or we could get one of those.
I'm gonna get boots. I've got it. I've got boots taken care of.
I see. So, Cheeky sees like a 14-year-old boy wearing a Jedi cape.
Okay.
Ah.
All right.
That's our target.
Cheeky, go ahead and give me your fight. I think we're just going to do a degree of success here because really what I just want to see what happens.
Okay.
I just want. I mean, all right, 14-year-old stealing a cape. Let's make it a 10. Solid 10 for fight.
I got a 10. I got a 9 with a +1.
Got a 9 with a +1. Very nice. So, how do you get this cape, this Jedi cape, from this 14-year-old boy?
So, and am I aided by the goose at this time, or is it a solo endeavor?
You don't mechanically need to be, but narratively
Okay.
you can totally be.
Okay, so the goose is doing something else. So Renee's doing something else. So, I find this teen boy with his Jedi cape, and I start by biting down on the back of the cape and kind of pulling it a little bit to distract him, so he looks behind him.
What?
And as he does that, he kind of looks behind him and he puts his arm down a little bit, you know, like, what's going on? And that's my invitation to run up his arm and unlatch. Unlatch the cape. And I'm hoping that Renee's on the back, who could just like whisk that.
You like
away.
chest burster out of his cape as it like flies open. Renee, are you there?
Well, since we were going solo, I was actually going to be off stealing something else, but
Okay.
I could help out with this part.
Or Coco's there. Coco, you gum the edge of the cape and just whoop as you bunny leaps forth. The kid's like, ah! Just starts running, like just books it through Futureland.
For good measure, I growl and fight with the cape a little bit.
And
The
I
cape
just want
is
to
dead.
I'm sure the cast members take good care of the child to get him a new cape, the teenage boy. So it's all fine. And we have a Jedi cape.
You have a Jedi cape. All right, Renee, what are you doing?
Well, I was just figuring. I mean, it's not enough to be a human. We need to like really pass as one. So I don't know too much about humans, but I do know the thing they care about is this money stuff
Okay.
that's in their wallet. So I'm gonna steal a wallet and like just grab all of the credit cards out of it, and like whatever else is in there in terms of like cash or whatever. So I'm just going to I'm going to go up to someone who's like eating a hot dog or something, and I'm going to try to grab the hot dog out of their hand and like spit it on the ground. And then when they're bent over picking it up,
Yeah.
I'm going to take the wallet out of their back pocket.
This is like a pretty brainy thing that you're trying to do here.
Oh, always brain.
I did tell you,
Alright.
brains is problem solving.
It's so street smart. All right.
I guess you're right.
I guess-
Grit is street smarts.
Let's see.
Technically.
Well, if I do grit.
I'll let you do grit. You're right.
Well,
Grit is
I
technically
rolled
street smart.
I rolled a 2 with a +1 is 3, so not great.
I think you start choking on a hot dog.
Oh, well.
Oh no. Is he nearby? Do we hear it?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. What does it sound like when you
I
start
grabbed
choking
the
on a
hot
hot dog?
dog, but I kind of misjudge, and it just like slides into my gullet, and I'm there going, oh.
I remember this sound from the kitchen.
Yeah, it's the exact same.
Is he nearby? Can I get to him and pull the same maneuver?
Yeah.
So my ears twitch up because we're like getting rid of the cape, and I'm like, danger! And I run over to Renee, and I, just like in the kitchen, I bounce on his butt to cause the obstruction to clear.
I don't think we need a roll for that, but you do have a bunny kick you in the butt. Just
Yeah, so I like bounce forward, and the hot dog goes
lands,
goes exploding out of my mouth.
just flies forward, lands
yeah.
on a small child somewhere.
And then I run right back to the cape.
And then I look at the person that I stole it from, and I just like stare at him for a while, and then I honk at him.
Go on, get out of here, get. You do not successfully acquire a wallet,
No.
but good effort. A for effort. Chip, let's go to the sunglasses. Or the
I think my trick is going to be finding a sunglasses and then sticking to the wall as good mice protocol, and just slowly trying to drag it. So it might take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It might, like
I think this is still kind of flight, right? Like you're trying to get away from your problem, evade your problems, and there's like humans. There's a lot of feet you've got to drag these
Lot of
sunglasses
feet.
through. They might get stepped on. Let's say this is a 9.
Okay, I'm rolling a d12, so
Okay.
it's not
doable.
it's my second best skill. So let's see how it goes. I got a 9 exactly.
Whew.
Actually,
There's like a moment where we see a foot come down and it looks like it's gonna stand on the glass, and then you just out of the way, just in time, and it like just misses the glasses.
what place are we in?
You are in the gift shop of Space Mountain, so there's a lot of
They're
Star
stunner
Wars merch.
shades.
They're what?
They're white stunner shades.
Yep, that seems like a
with
thing they'd have.
Space Mountain on the side.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was like, what world is gonna decide what kind of glasses they?
You got stunner shades. All right, Phantom, let's bring us home.
All right. Here I have a depiction of not that. There we go.
Ugh.
This is 1922's Disney's Puss in Boots, and this is a demonstration of what Phantom's going to do to try to charm someone into giving him a scarf or really any kind of clothing.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's going to just try to walk up at his hind legs and look cute around the Space Mountain gift shop, especially around. He's going to like pull a scarf down maybe, and like try to wear it and just like cute his way out of the store. Like just being too adorable for anyone to
I
stop.
thought you were after shoes.
I decided I couldn't come up justify a way I would be able to get somebody's shoes off. So,
All right, I feel like you're trying to charm your way out. Let's make this another 9
Okay.
to cute your way away with some with a scarf.
I rolled a 20. It's exploding.
It explodes.
No way.
I'm gonna show you this because you're not gonna believe me. Otherwise, I rolled another 20.
What?
I rolled 2 d20s. I can prove it here. Let's see. Stay.
I don't believe
2.
you. I think you're lying to us.
Screen one. No.
What is this?
There
I'm
we
caught
go.
in the Matrix.
It's right here. Can you see it?
It's very
Absolutely.
small.
Very small.
It's there. I rolled a 2 d20s in a row. Now I get to roll another 17. So
57.
57. All right, take it away.
that is a freaking charming cat.
I think
Yeah,
for that,
what happens?
He gets them naked. Like,
I think you get a pair of shoes out of that somehow. But explain it to me. How do you also get a scarf and a pair of shoes?
I think he's so adorable. A group of visiting like teenage like band, like they're in bands and they're like hanging out and they're like excited. They've been like eating candy all day and they're so excited they dress him up in the entire like outfit and he kind of like
Then they're like taking
Shuffles
pictures
his
of
way.
you.
he shovels his way out and that's what he ends up with eventually when he finally like works his way away from.
and this
So
sure
you
would have
all-
been useful when you were stuck in the middle of a highway.
You all convene together, like around a corner behind something, tucked away out of sight, and you all convene together to assemble your human. You have a Jedi cape, a pair of stunner shades, some shoes or boots of some kind. You have a scarf, and you have 4 animals.
Okay.
5.
5 animals. Sorry, mouse
I'm
is
too
mouse is
small,
very
but-
small. 5 animals.
So we all agree, mouse on the bottom, right?
I
Definitely.
need to know what your Voltron looks like.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
It's a tough one. We're not going to be super tall.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Wait. Oh,
So I
you-
feel like
Renee, you're so skilled at slaying dragons. You must be our right hand.
Oh, okay.
Like, so you can like.
The length.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay.
I see. And to show I understand, I like. Do we actually have like any sort of? Did we get the hoodie? That was something we were trying to get.
we got the Jedi cape instead of the hoodie because it's
Oh, instead of the
longer.
hoodie.
And yeah,
So we don't have a
Jedi robe.
sleeve.
Yeah, you do. Jedi robe.
yeah, Jedi capes are like
Oh,
full
the
on,
robe.
like
Oh, okay.
like
wow.
Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
It's big,
to
it's
show
drapey.
that to show that I understand, I like shove my head through the sleeve of the robe and
Okay.
poke it up and out,
All right,
and then I honk quietly. Honk.
I'm just drawing a diagram.
It's good. It's good. It's important.
I think. Well, I'm trying to figure out how do we stack this and who.
Yeah.
So
These are good
it-
questions. How do you stack this?
So we have a large raid coming in apparently. So
Oh,
hi, we're
hi,
building
Patrick
an animal
Static.
Voltron. Welcome
Hello,
in.
Nuggets. Welcome
Here's
in,
the
Raiders.
problem.
And we're trying to build an animal Voltron.
Yeah, you're
for
really
a
joining
mission.
us at a very good moment.
Yeah.
A very good moment. Hello,
It's
everybody.
pretty straightforward.
Welcome in. Thank you so much for raiding us. Legion, you know how to stab people effectively with sharp, pointy objects and cupcakes in their faces. So we'll go ahead and do that. If you are just joining us here, welcome in. We are here, the cast of NerdProv, formerly of Shadowrun CorpSINS, and we are playing Pets Go Home, an animal adventure RPG inspired by such 90s classics as Homeward Bound. And we are also raising funds for one of the local theaters in Seattle that is currently closed called Unexpected Productions. So we'll throw that link in chat if you would like to help influence what's happening in this game right now. You can donate to make
I
that
think a
happen.
couple
I think
extra
we're gonna
tokens
need-
came in.
We're gonna need a lot of influence.
Yeah, we got a few. We got a few more.
And I think we got one more than what's credited there, and then another. I don't know if that was an NPC, but anyway. So we have a ghost who's agreed to be our right arm, and
Right.
we are figuring out the other four of us.
Yeah, they're a bunch of animals assembling a human Voltron.
So I technically didn't get an item.
Do you want to acquire an item?
I would like to acquire an item because as I'm looking at the goose arm and trying to stack a bunch of animals, I'm like, wait a minute. And I use my little elderly chihuahua eyes to look around the park, and I'm looking for one of those baby walkers on wheels where the kid sits in the middle and then there's like a little platform.
Oh.
Because
I don't know why you would have one of those at Disneyland, but sure.
I mean, people bring weird things to Disneyland.
It's a
Yeah, someone has
Holocaust
like a
book.
weird portable version of one of those.
Right.
What? I mean, because there's those little scooters that sometimes people use for, but we don't want to. We don't want to steal one of those.
Wheels are probably like something
Well, I
that's
mean,
without brakes aren't good.
We could get like a
No,
mobile...
it's one of those things that like the kids walk in and it like helps
Right.
support them. Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
The idea of a scooter was a little more terrifying.
That's where this whole plan breaks down for
That-
me.
yeah,
Good to
that's-
know.
The scooter was
That's
too
so
far.
Wait a
Too
minute, this
far.
is unreasonable.
Like I don't know how people feel about fan art, but I'm really, if someone can draw this human chimera for us when we're done, I would really be on board with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were trying to acquire one of those like
Yeah, because
baby.
Coco's concerned that
Yeah.
we don't have enough height.
Right.
And so
Oh.
basically, she's looking for something wheeled that is stilt light, like that we can
Mhm.
stack.
We have to be tall enough to get above this line.
Right.
Yeah, you got to be able to get on all the rides.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean,
Oh my god.
she'll look around and be like, "What can I steal from a baby?"
Anything, really.
I mean, candy apparently is very easy to take. All right, so you look around, and you spot it, right? Like whatever it is that you're looking for, you see some small like little waddler waddling along. I want to say this is also one because we're in like future land, so this is like a BB-8 thing that like someone is walking. No, it's just a straight up BB-8. You just or like it's some sort of little droid that's.
Yeah, the droid. The other
Yeah.
one's easier to stand on. The R2
Yeah.
style unit.
Yeah, it's just an R2 unit.
It has a little control
Is
stick.
it one of those
Yeah,
kinds
sure.
with like the remote? That
Yes,
you,
yes, they
Yeah.
sell those now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Coco knows what this is.
Yeah.
So she wants to
Yeah.
take it and the remote.
So you see some kid being like, "I love my new droid," except they all talk like this to you. Wah, 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 wah. How are you gonna steal it from them?
I'm going to try to jump on the kid and take the remote.
Okay. Yeah, and then you can just remote it away from him. Yeah. All right. Fight, I guess. Seems like what you're trying to do.
This is like a low moment for
You know.
Coco.
Yeah, you're taking. Let's just say you're stealing from an 8-year-old. So we'll say it's an 8.
Perfect.
Age of the
30
child determines
seconds.
difficulty. For anyone who's not sure, we're using a version of the Kids on Bikes RPG system, but they're animals. It works really well, surprisingly. All right.
All right.
what'd
I
you
rolled
get?
a 5.
You got a 5. So, we have 6 adversity tokens. If there are ways that people can assist.
To
get us to that
kind of
8?
Renee's specialty.
Is it now?
Renee sees what Coco is doing, and far to be left out from an opportunity to harass a little kid, he like quickly waddles over there, spreading his wings wide, and just begins honking at the kid to intimidate him to drop the remote.
All right. That adds +1,
And
so we're at a 6
hopefully
now.
just run away.
What else? Who else is adding on to this?
I would like to help by being small. I could push the remote while I sit on Coco, and Coco could run away. So because I think Coco wouldn't be able to run away while pushing forward the droid.
All right. So you wanna tag team this a little bit? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Phantom runs to help. Phantom runs to help majestically. Music plays, and then he sees the BB-8 and immediately just starts batting at it.
Okay, so Phantom offers no assistance.
Since everyone's piling in, I'm assuming that the items are like stashed strategically under
For sure, yeah.
Something. Cheeky will run out and try to play the cute card. Cheeky knows that other bunnies have been seen in the area, so he doesn't need to hide necessarily.
Yeah.
So Cheeky runs onto the child's feet and attempts a cuddle maneuver.
So separate the child.
So yeah, we
from
see
the toy.
We see this strategic moment. We see child gets distracted by cute bunny, bends down to pet cute bunny. Dog leaps on child, grabs controls out of child's hands. Goose distracts adults from protecting child's toy in hand by honking. And Tiny Mouse navigates controls on things so that the droid goes with them. And this is the moment that we watch as these
In a gift shop in Space Mountain
and you successfully get this remote control droid to your little sequestered pile of things, and eventually Phantom realizes that you're not supposed to be attacking the droid, and you once again regather. So now you have a droid, a Jedi robe, a pair of stunner shades, and a pair of boots and a scarf.
Doing this with a team is far more effective than doing it alone. Is this what it is like to have a family?
Yes.
Interesting.
Costumes and shenanigans, yes.
If you can't eat something by yourself, your entire family can do it with you. Just imagine the world like
I can eat everything by myself.
Without family, who do you steal food from?
I steal food from people.
Yeah, but what if you farmed the people? You put them like in a container, and then you didn't have to chase them down. They were just there to steal food from whenever you wanted. That's family.
And you know what's the saddest thing of all, Renee? If you don't have family, you don't have reasons to try hard all the time for things like this.
I suppose. But for me, the joy has always been in the chase.
Well,
So then you just want to find a family and then lose them again. That's fine too.
Yeah. Perhaps. And I like snake my head back into the sleeve of the drape. Or not the drape, the robe.
The robe.
Yeah.
All right,
So Coco, you understand the box, the magic box that's not the horrible magic box. So where should you be in the tower so you can do the things?
well, I think Chip should run the remote.
Oh!
I can't be an arm or a face or a leg. So instead I'll be the heart. And I'll sit in the center and I'll have the little remote and peek my head up.
If I stand on the base, can you squeeze underneath me
Yes.
in order to do this?
You stand between the legs. And
So
I've got to
I-
look up like R2 droid toys.
I think that's gonna. So in between the big yellow feet, I think Chip's gonna be there, and there's probably a place where
You're like
it
this
charges.
big? Yeah.
And then I think Chip will just go. So that'll be.
God,
that'll
I
be where
want
Chip-
you to just know this child is definitely not going to be able to get another present.
Well, they'll get have it back after we're
They
done.
really should have thought about that before we attacked him on mass.
I mean, it's not like we dropped him off at the pound.
Don't understand economics.
You're all animals. You don't care.
Well, who wants to be the head?
I think that should be me, shouldn't it?
You have the longest arm. Shouldn't you be the left arm?
I suppose.
You can bat as many things as you want.
That's a good point. Sure. I just like claw into. Is there something
Okay.
for me to claw into so I can hang through the arm?
Yeah, I mean, you just climb through the rope. Okay, so we've got droid base. We've got an R2 droid base. We have Renee sitting on said base, with one arm through the right hole, and then sitting on
His head
Renee,
snaked through it.
we have Phantom being the left arm.
Now, is this the both hands through the sleeve, or is this one of those? You know, the sleeve is bunched up enough that your head and your arm sticks out.
Who's you?
I thought there were arms and sleeves.
There are arms and sleeves.
No, I mean just the cat. Like
Oh,
how
oh, yeah.
yeah.
I think I'm dangling down with like my butt, like my tail is the hand,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I'm just like clawed into something. Probably not one of you. Probably just the robe itself.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to draw this, but I'm not great at drawing this. So
That's okay. I'm also trying to do this.
anyway,
And if my head's close to the actual head, then I will try to make human noises, which would be.
I feel like your head is like where a shoulder is supposed to
Yeah.
be,
I'm just saying near the head.
And you're
unless
like-
we have an animal who is the head.
perched on.
Well,
Okay,
we're gonna
well,
have a head, and it's gonna be either me or Coco. What?
Okay.
Coco looks more like the kid's grandpa, and might be a good choice. And then I could either like also help with the head and make it bigger, or I could run on the ground and like
I
keep
think-
things out of the way.
I think we need as much height as we can get.
Okay, so then we're head twins. But I'm gonna be the back of the head, and Coco's gonna be the front of the head.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so we've got Coco front of the head, and
That's
Cheeky
okay.
back of the head.
Put the
When
sunglasses on.
Coco growls, it sometimes sounds like Richard's alcoholic father. Yep,
That's a sound humans make.
that's definitely. They make that all the time.
Wait, what have we not used yet?
No, everyone's in.
Everyone's in there.
Everyone's in
No,
there.
Items. Do we have the scarf on? We
I
just
assume the
to cinch
scarf
our
goes
waist.
around them, and then the shades go on Coco.
Yeah.
Can we like attach the boots to the base of the R2?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we'll probably use the scarf to like tie the animals together, so
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
tight.
It's
Yeah.
like a corset. It gives us extra.
Yeah, it gives you some
Yeah.
support.
This is totally good. We're gonna totally get up to the big mouse.
I suspect that because I'm a little agile, it's up to me to help with a couple of the final adjustments
Yeah.
before hopping back up out the
Yeah.
outside and
Yeah.
darting behind
I mean,
Coco.
None of us really have thumbs, so it's gonna be.
We're using our imaginations here.
I don't want to point. I don't want it to be a joy kill, guys.
Yeah. Just by the way, none of you have thumbs. So we assemble and we see like I think we have this moment right where we don't see what's happening. We just sort of like the camera, we like pan over as the audience. The
Mega pet
scene
sequence has been initiated.
Yeah, like we pan over the scene of like, Space Mountain and the sort of this plaza area. We see the pizza place. And then we just hear it's like the Monty Python scenes. We just hear noises of like saws and like just like random noises coming from behind us in this alleyway. And then it stops and it goes silent for a moment. And then there's just this small, like, whirring noise of the motor of the R2 unit, just like, as it gets, like, stuck on something.
Oh, and then I
And
run
roll
down
up.
and move the thing out of the way and then run back up again.
Pull up the bottom of the coat.
Yeah, you gotta pull up the cape because the cape gets like caught in the R2 unit. And then as we see this like emerging from in between like a gap between two buildings, we just see this monstrosity of an R2 unit. But we see basically just a closed Jedi cape with a hood up. And then like a big scarf covering a lot of the face and a pair of stunner shades. And then like weirdly moving arms that we like glimpse a cat paw and a goose head
With a watch.
with a watch on it.
Oh yeah, the watch is there. That's
It
right.
just lumbers
That adds credibility.
awkwardly.
All makes sense.
Wait, hold on. I leap out of the sleeve
No.
and grab somebody's mouse cap hat
You put the mouse
and
ears
to
on.
put on the top.
You jump back
Right.
in, and this lumbering, awkwardly sized, but probably the size of like a teenager, like a 13, 14-year-old, just emerges out of the alleyway. I think
And
that's where we'll take our last break.
Wait, can I say
Yeah,
where we're
probably.
headed? Can we say where we're headed?
Yeah.
As I have the
Where are you going?
time to go to a parade.
Not just any parade, to meet the big mouse in the parade.
You are headed
I'm
to.
going
I
to
like that you
be-
completely forgot about Lost and Found. All parade all the time, and like we look at the time, and it's like 2:50, and you're ready. You're
I
ready
want
for
to
the
be in
parade.
parade.
Can we make it 2:40? Because I think
2:40.
we're gonna need a little
Yeah.
longer.
Whatever.
We're a little short.
We're totally gonna just sneak right up to it.
Well, if you make it 2:50, we'll get in the middle of the parade, which might be good.
Yeah, that would
That's
be
fine too.
I hope we have time to like roll up to a trash can for Renee to stick his head down in it and like pull something up.
Oh, I am so sure. All right, let's take
We
our
have several donations,
We do have some donations. Oh my
should read
goodness.
and I would probably need to reconcile over the break our
Our adversity
token
tokens.
count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, firstly, thank you so much, William, with the donation. Thanks for the laugh. 25 from Vasco de Gamer. This has exceeded my wildest dreams. Mine as well. Take my money and build the Muppet Man. We did.
Muppet?
Raina Terror with another adversity token. Foster dog
seen
Foxy
the
endorses
Muppet Man?
everything about this adventure.
Thank you, Foxy and Raina.
Thanks,
Terror.
guys.
Anonymous with another adversity token and no message. Does anyone want to offer up one? Anyone want to improvise a message from the Muppet
Watch your
Man?
Jedi capes. They're in demand.
Hold fast to your remote control.
Rolling into the parade.
Seaspooner 13 with 2 adversity tokens. This was amazing. You are just absolutely wonderful. And another one from Anonymous with 8 adversity tokens.
Oh,
If I do the math right.
This is gonna
and
be the
no
best
message.
parade.
We're going to be so believable.
we can do anything.
We
really.
Well, let's find out what happens after the break. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the parade, I guess.
At some point, this was like a story about pets going home.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anybody is like just joining us now and completely missed everything that's happened in the last 2 hours, a quick little summary. We have 5 animals. 3 of them are pets. They're attempting to go home, but they have been led to Big Mouse City, aka Disneyland. And they have discovered the existence that the biggest mouse is in the parade. And Renee the goose wants to get in the parade, and Phantom the cat wants to eat the big mouse. So they have now Voltroned themselves together into a human-esque figure wearing, on the base, we have an R2-D2 droid remote control unit sitting on top of that, tucked between the legs of Renee the goose. We have the remote controlling mouse chip controlling said droid. We have Renee sitting there, head going into the right arm. On top of Renee, we have Phantom, head, body, paws going into the left arm. On top of them, we have Coco and Cheeky, the rabbit and dog, Coco being the front of the face and Cheeky being the back of the head. I assume like hood partially up, maybe stunner shades on, scarf wrapped around, and this lumbering creature emerges out into the park. A little disjointed, perhaps, maybe not quite as coordinated as one might want it to be. Homunculus, yes. The homunculus.
The issue is that droids don't turn well, so I can go front and back, and then anytime I want to turn, I have to rotate.
Yeah.
So
It's not graceful. as you begin your way, I think the rats had pointed you. The rats you met had pointed you in the direction of Main Street, where the parade is, which you know, like the no man's land, the sort of the argued turf in this turf war of Disneyland. And they had pointed you. They were like, "This is the edge of our territory. We will go no farther." And so you know, this is where the parade is. And I think as you emerge forward, as you head forward, there are just people lining up, right? Like they begin to crowd. There's people lining up. You see other humans like pointing and directing people and sort of like trying to get, like doing a lot of like stand over here and do this and da 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 da.
2-finger point.
2-finger point. And the crowds are beginning to gather, and there's very clearly a crowd of people between you and the place the rats have declared the beginning of the parade and the edge of their territory. And I think maybe at this point, just to sort of add an element of urgency in, like, the parade has started at one end, but you're not there, right? Like, so you've got plenty of time before it's going to get to you, but, like, you can hear it kind of, like, off in the distance. There's, like, more sounds, and there's, like, more music happening that's different than the music that's happening over here. And, like, maybe if one of you was very tall or, like, took their hand that's also their head and, like, goosenecked it all the way up, you might be able to see, like, strange, large, moving objects and, like, dancing people and stuff standing, or, like, dancing creatures standing on them, because a lot of them are, like, wearing animal heads and things like that.
Renee, have you seen a parade before? You have to be in the middle. That's what it was like at Thanksgiving. The things that were majestic were all in the middle.
I have not seen a parade before, no. I just know that it calls to me. This... Is that us?
Something like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without the cloak. Under the cloak. This is what's going on.
That's what's under the cloak.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Yep.
There is this thing I see in the distance. Is it the parade? I want to be in the parade.
You got it. And like I think Chip pushes.
So you're just going straight towards the like crowd?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I am.
That's where the parade is.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be as like, if there's a walk, I'm not gonna try to like, I can't really see. If they're sitting down, they're gonna get rolled over.
Coco, can you make some of those noises, the grandpa noises?
So I'd love it if, like, that causes cast members to want to help us.
All right, so you're approaching this crowd,
charm?
but you're like kind of you're
Okay.
probably there keeping like this section open as like the walkway for now or something. Yeah, and so you're approaching a cast member, and your goal is to get them to help you. And
Oh, well, after further instruction, after hearing that, Coco would be like, oh, okay.
So we want to just stealth our way through it, or do we want their attention?
We want, because there's people in the way. What if we make sounds like Grandpa? Everybody helps Grandpa all the time.
yeah, because
We
even
wanna
if
help
they don't
Grandpa.
notice you, there's still people in the way, right? Like you've got to get the people to move.
I want to flip upside down in the sleeve, and then so I can tap someone on the shoulder by like just bumping them a little bit.
Okay.
Okay,
I
so
guess I could do that with my butt if I don't have to get my hand high. So I'm just gonna I'm probably gonna end up like patting people on the butt. But I'm a cat. I don't know that's inappropriate.
you've got grandpa noises. You're trying to like part the crowd with like.
I mean, let's face it. Every now and then, I'm also gonna honk as well.
All right. So, Coco, I feel like you're the one taking the lead on this charm.
Yeah, it's a lot of like gurgling and snorting and like.
You are trying to get the crowd to part because they're uncomfortable with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Give me a roll. Let's say this is a 9. A 9 charm.
Oh, I'm rolling charm on this.
Yeah, you're trying to
Okay.
convince them.
We can do that.
To do what you want.
The die I have.
What is charm for you?
Well, I have a D10 for charm. However, what I rolled was not 10, nor was it a 9.
Nor was it a 9.
What I rolled was a 3.
Well,
Can you use luck?
are you lucky?
Oh, actually, yeah, I can. I'm lucky.
All right. Spend 2 adversity tokens. We have 11, so let's bring us down to 9. As you like bump into some people, and there's this moment. We see this moment where like, it looks like this homunculus is gonna come apart. What'd you roll?
I rolled another 3.
All right. We're gonna make this happen.
It was meant to be. What's happening?
So I'm helping out. I have one of my own adversity tokens that I'm gonna use.
Okay.
I'm honking, which is my way of saying hello, fellow humans.
So you want to add that to the roll, because that does not get it to a 9. That gets it to a 4.
Do we between all of us, can we get it to a 9, or is that just?
I don't think the math checks
that
out.
way.
Wait.
So I think
is
what
there
happens.
a limit of 4 that we can add?
I think what happens is I got this. Don't spend your adversity token. As you begin, you make this sort of gurgling noise. I think someone misinterprets it, and they're like, "Oh no, come over here!" But instead of like getting you any closer to the crowd, they tuck you away, and so you just get like surrounded by even more people.
Oh no, we're in the
And so
we're
you're
in
like
the
now
disabled like special viewing section.
yeah.
But
So
now
they
we're
like
protected.
Yeah, they bring you. They're like, "Oh yeah, you get the cast member," and they like take you over to the special viewing section, and they like cordon you off, and so now you've just got a lot of people watching you, but you are definitely not where you want to be for inside the parade.
How close are we to the parade now?
Special viewing section's pretty close,
Okay.
but you have a lot of eyes on you now.
Is there a row ahead of us? Are we in the front row?
Oh no. You're definitely like in the middle of it.
Odds are the people in front of us are probably lower than us, either sitting on the curb or in mobility devices, so
Yeah.
we can see.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is a good place for us to wait for the parade.
All right.
So I think Coco says to Renee, "Well, Renee, do you feel like you can get where you want to be in the parade from here?"
I don't know. I've never been in a parade before. I just know I must be in it. I would like to be closer to it. I would like to be where it is coming.
I don't.
When we see the big mouse, that's when we'll make our move.
Ah, yes, the big mouse.
Do you all know how to move unseen like a shadow in the night?
Yeah.
At night?
I just move where I want to move.
Well, Renee, if you want to enjoy us getting all the way up to the mouse, we must go quietly and stealthily.
Interesting.
I do have an ability to not be seen if I spend 2 adversity tokens. How many adversity tokens would it take to expend that ability? I looked up in the rule book, and I can't. Weirdly, they left out the section about being an animal who's hiding in a cloak with other animals.
Yeah.
Let's just say if it's 2 adversity tokens for you, I would probably say that it's like 2 adversity tokens per person or per critter.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. I'm half though.
Okay. All right. I'll discount Chip from that because Chip is barely visible. So we'll say it is 8 total for the 4 of you
To sneak in.
to utilize the cannot or not to be seen ability.
Yes. It's the same one I used when hiding on that meat in the kitchen.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
All those days ago.
It's the unassuming. May spend 2 adversity tokens to not be seen within reason. GM's discretion.
Within GM's
Funny, Tony, you left that part out.
Smiled upon us. We have I don't know what our
You have 9, so you could spend 8 of them.
I
but you
also
would
have
have to
one
Try
of
to
my
be
own.
unseen as the homunculus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And not as individuals.
No, as the homunculus, and you will have to
So-
explain to me how this is gonna work.
So I think the only way it works is if we look like we are part of the parade staff.
Yeah.
Oh.
we're-
Typically.
Like, we have to move with the confidence
you have to-
and swagger
All
of
right,
someone.
no, perfect. So this whole new area in the park just opened up. So the first float is a float where you see a bunch of people wearing robes, kind of like your robes. And there's a droid that's kind of like the one that you're all sitting on. And there's like dawn, dawn, dawn music playing. And there's some like dramatic person in a black mask with like a red stick in their hand. And they're like looking really dramatic and threatening on top of this parade. But very clearly there are people that are somewhat dressed like you that goes past. And this is like one of the floats that comes down the line as you are watching them.
So
Renee, the stick holder is very majestic.
I see the guy with the stick, and I look around me to see for someone else who has one of these sticks, and I grab it from them.
The color, wait, the sticks that are different colors
Yeah,
and
there's-
that glow.
Yeah, it's a different color. I was just gonna be like, I mean, you're sitting in the special viewing area. It's like someone in a wheelchair, probably.
Oh, man.
I mean, let's be real. I don't make a distinction.
You're just a horrible goose.
I assaulted an 8-year-old.
You did. No, let's also
Now,
make
Throw
this
a
a
man
small
into
child.
traffic.
I think I would believe that there is a Jawa Jedi out there somewhere.
It's a small child. Like, there's another small child. They're waving their stick around, and you would like to steal it from them?
Yes. I would like to grab it right out of their
Yeah,
hand.
give me a brawn. Give me. We'll say
Let's do
they're
this.
7. So
Now
roll
we
a
know
7
who
or
our
higher.
chaotic evil is.
I got a 12.
You successfully. It's a red lightsaber.
Perfect.
That makes sense.
What color is the lightsaber?
It's
It's
red.
red.
It's red
Oh,
because
okay,
he's
I'm
evil.
So I snatch it out of the kid's hand and I just yank it right out. And now I'm like, my head is just like whipping this lightsaber all over the place.
Are people moving out of the way now that we've hit everyone?
Yeah, probably at this point.
It's
You
just how
start
we're not seen.
smacking people with
And I
lightsabers.
will-
But are you? To be clear, are we spending the 8 adversity tokens to
Oh, yeah,
have you
no, this
join the Star Wars float?
Act
Yes.
like the tall one is doing. The big majestic one. Act like
All right.
him.
Thank you very
Then.
much, Anonymous, for enabling this moment. Please, all of you, describe to me how you join the Star Wars float.
I like to move forward, and I see some droids that are spinning to fun music.
Uh-huh.
So as soon as we get out, I start spinning in a circle.
Yes! That's perfect. I do Jedi moves with the lightsaber while we're spinning around.
Can you please clarify what Jedi moves are to you?
Well, I just means I'm whipping my head around and the lightsaber's moving all over the place.
Yep.
I just gyrate for the other arm.
The other arm just does.
I try to like make the hood as big as possible so that we look really big, really really big, like Darth Vader
As
helmet
you-
big.
awkwardly swirl with a lightsaber towards the Star Wars float. There is like a moment of confusion, but they're all professionals and they all just begin dancing. And then I think like after a moment, they're just like, you're clearly supposed to be here. Like no one registers this for whatever reason. They're like, ah, yes, one of the Jawas that we thought was missing. I don't remember a Jedi Jawa, but that seems appropriate. And then we just hear like people pointing at this Jawa that has now joined the group.
I mean, the thing right now I think that's missing is like Coco needs to be making the Jedi sounds.
The vocalization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, how enthusiastic is Chip on the remote? Because the remote for the R2 devices does have sound effects.
Okay, I don't know that. I think what happens is that Chip goes because she's a small field mouse, goes to lean on the remote and the feet start making the noises of the droid as there's different traction points. And I just go,
It's working. They're worshiping us the way we deserve.
Is this what you
successfully-
wanted?
Yes, we've successfully imitated one of their religious figures. Look at them.
But where's the big mouse?
It must be ahead. We've got to speed up and
Wait,
get
we're the
to
first-
it.
No, the big
Oh.
mouse is the last float. Mickey's always on the last one, right? Normally.
Yeah, he's
That's how
last.
Disney works. So we're further up on the parade
Yeah.
than the mouse. is.
Yeah, you're farther ahead of the parade than the mouse. So I feel like you look up and you see it. Like that's the moment, right, where you sort of glance down the parade route and several floats behind you. You see standing on top of whatever large vehicle Mickey is currently on. We see Mickey Mouse, as we the audience recognize, but to you it is just the big mouse. It is a large cartoony mousy head, really big ears, wearing like gloves and a suit, and they're like just a lot of waving, and then occasional dance moves, and then more waving, and you see it. And then there's a second mouse that's wearing a skirt and a dress, but also looks like this mouse.
My eyes aren't good in the light, but if that's what I think it is, look at the amount of meat on that thing.
Renee, they're so majestic. Aren't you excited? Oh.
I must get to the center of the parade.
We all do.
So I think as soon as you say that, like
turn around,
a little bit of like turning, and then it just full tilt drive, just as fast as I possibly.
You just like floor it, and so you like smack on it, and then we zoom out, and we just see like
it goes back,
like milk floats be like just even slower than the floats. You're heading like back up the parade route as the parade's coming towards you.
Man.
But here's the thing, we're still doing the stuff, so there's still like a lightsaber as you go through like Hercules float.
Yeah, and we see like Disney princesses just like as you go past there, because you're going this way, but like they're going this way, so you end up moving like kind of quickly just because they're moving in the opposite direction from you. And you spent 8 adversity tokens, so I'll give you a little bit of a free pass for a moment. But we just see like heads like turn. They just like whip around as this Jawa homunculus like makes its way in the opposite direction of the parade route, and it's just like everybody catches.
The Jawa is wearing sunglasses. So.
Yeah, no, I know, and whipping around a lightsaber and riding on a droid, like
appropriate noises.
The 7 dwarfs did something very similar.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we just see like everybody just like turns and looks, and no one can quite, like all the humans can't quite process it because it's just like so ridiculous. They all think they're hallucinating or something.
We're still less creepy than anything in It's a Small World.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the dancers are all just like, maybe I'm just really dehydrated. I should drink more water. I think I'm hallucinating while I'm dancing in the Anaheim heat.
Nobody else is noticing this, so it just must be me.
Right. I think everyone's like, did you? Well, it's gone already by the time they look back.
Must be one of those esoteric Star Wars characters I know nothing about.
Yeah. So you make your way through the like dehydrated dancers, confused onlookers, and you get basically all the way up to the big mouse float, and you see it there above you at the top of this float. There's the biggest mouse, the mouse head and the mouse ears, and then there's slightly lower down a secondary mouse wearing a dress, but still a mouse, and they're both there. It's the big mouse.
Renee wants to be where the mouses are. Renee wants to see them dancing.
I want to eat the big mouse.
Okay.
So what do you all do?
I eat the big mouse. I leap onto the big mouse and eat it.
I mean, does anyone else have something we need to resolve before we resolve Phantom rushing?
I mean, I don't know if this happens before or after Phantom leaps. I don't think it necessarily makes a difference to Renee.
Probably
not. But Renee just like has this awestruck moment as he sees basically the biggest, most majestic moving thing that he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And he says to the rest of them, I have never traveled so far or seen such a thing. And I have you all to thank for this. This is not like nothing I had ever imagined. I have become something different than I was before. I have discovered a new world I had never imagined. And it's all thanks to you. And with that, he slips his neck back out of the Jedi robe, and majestically, for the first time ever, takes off and flies to sit on top of the giant Mickey Mouse head.
All right.
And I assume at this point we lose structural integrity because both of our arms have gone.
Yeah. So okay.
Collapsed.
So I feel like this is this beautiful moment that you're having, but like Phantom completely ruins it just with like a straight up like yeet, and just like out of this
I think
robe
that's accurate. Yeah.
as you have this moment and you're like, I'm gonna do this thing, and then
I feel like it's a slow motion montage of Renee flying and like Phantom like clawing his way like over like princesses and children. Like, do both arrive at the mouse at the same time?
well, let us put that in the hands of the dice, I think, to see how this resolves as the homunculus collapses and loses structural integrity, and we're just left with like a bunny and a dog and a mouse sitting on top of an R2 unit with like a cloak on the
Don't
ground.
worry,
It's
I'm
like
gonna drive this.
it's straight up that moment though from like the end of like Star Wars of A New Hope, and we just see like some kid with like blonde hair like holding a like a blue lightsaber just being like, no, Obi-Wan, as you like fall to the ground. However,
Oh dear.
However, because I think like maybe that's the point where also we see a human like reach out and like grab you because they've realized you're not supposed to be there.
There's nothing there.
And then there's nothing
They
there.
grab the cloak.
Yeah.
And they pull it back, and they're just face to face with a bunny.
Yeah.
It's like a magic trick. They pull down the cloak, and there's a bunny and like a flying goose and whatnot.
It's like when Vader strikes down Obi-Wan.
Yeah, exactly. However, all right. for flying and for leaping, this does seem in both instances like a flight. I really feel like you're gonna have a hard time convincing me that flying is not flight.
Yeah.
but I can see
Not
you
my
try.
best die, but yeah.
So I feel like, you know, what I would say is a task where success is certain for those that are very skilled at it. In fact, I think even a task where success is likely for all but those who aren't skilled at it. So I'm going to make this, it's a 4 for Renee to fly from the thing on top. For Phantom, I think it's a little bit harder because you're running. Like you don't have wings for this. So you are power of so let's make that an 8 for Phantom. And see what happens.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Roll a
Are you even-
9.
I rolled a 5!
Ah! Yay! All right, well, by nature of the difference for both of you being 1, whatever, just tell me what happens.
Go ahead.
Phantom goes right for the eyeball. He's going to eat his way into the mouse's eye because the eye is his favorite part of
It's the
all
only part he
animals.
eats.
He assumes it's an actual animal, so
Yeah.
he assumes it's going to be like a wet, delicious,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
piece
okay.
of-
So Phantom, how do you get from the thing up to the mouse? Like, what does it look like, Phantom, for your journey upon the float?
I think what's around Mickey in this?
So it's probably a hot air balloon. That's a recent float that he's in. They're both in like the basket of this like fake hot air balloon that's like sparkly and stuff.
And are there other characters like around?
No, they're in their own.
Yeah,
thing.
it's like just Mickey and Minnie.
They keep them separate. Like Daisy and Donald are probably on a float very close by, but they are not in that float.
Yeah.
I think Phantom leaps from the sleeve like onto the float, and then he bounds from like paper mache object to paper mache object, and straight at Mickey's face.
All right,
And he probably thinks it's a solid eye, but he's probably just gonna go through the mesh.
Yeah, we'll figure out what happens
I'll
in a
let
hot
you decide.
second. Renee, what happens for you?
All right, so Renee has never actually like flown before. He's lifted himself off the ground here and there, but because he never had parents to teach him how to fly, he's never actually
your
taken to the
backstory.
sky. But there's just this new feeling in him, something he's never felt before. And so he's a little unsteady, coming off of the base of the R2 unit. He sort of, goes up and down a bit, but he feels it in himself, the majestic pull of this chance to be the center of attention. And he finds the strength to beat his wings and make for the top. And when he finally gets up there, he doesn't stick the landing exactly. He kind of like flops over. He's never had to gauge it before, but he gets there and he stands up and shakes his feathers and tosses the watch off of his neck into the crowd. And then he stands there, just a thing of pure, unadulterated beauty.
So I imagine you're on Mickey's head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Between the ears.
You are on Mickey's head between the ears. As you land, we see this moment. That's when Phantom, you think, this is gonna be delicious. It's a huge eyeball. It's the biggest eyeball, and there's nothing. Like, you smack into like mesh, and then your head like pops into the head mask, right, of this Mickey, but I don't think the rest of your body can quite fit through. It's like mostly just your head, and then your legs get kind of stuck, and so you're like dangling onto Mickey Mouse's head. And there's like a human face inside there, and it smells disgusting and hot and sweaty. But you're just like clawing on the outside of Mickey's face with your head stuffed through the eyeball of Mickey's mask with a goose on your head. And this person just like screams bloody murder and like grabs the Mickey head. They break all Disney rules. They take Mickey's head off in the middle of the parade and they throw it to the ground.
Goodness.
Oh man. These kids are gonna need therapy.
They're gonna need so much therapy. We see children in the crowd yelling and screaming and pointing, and there's yelling and screaming, and
oh no, all the magic boxes are coming out!
There's so many magic boxes. Everyone's pulling out their phones and taking pictures and recording and pointing.
Cheeky's gonna try to run up to Renee, because Renee said it would protect Cheeky from the magic boxes.
Renee,
I don't even see Cheeky coming though.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Like,
you just got like tossed to the
place.
ground, and Phantom, you got thrown to the ground.
To be clear, I do shit on the cast member.
Yeah, no, it's totally fair.
I'm up there. Not deliberately, per
Just
se.
a startled
like,
poop comes out of you.
Yeah.
I think I drive the droid into the float. I think I just go, oh no!
Please tell me it catches fire.
I'm just thinking like, I just don't know how much slowing power this droid can do when it hits the float.
So you try and like drive it into like the front of the float, but it just sort of stops there, and the float just like is gonna start driving over this R2 unit.
It's really cheap electronics. There's a really good chance it'll spark. I think that's something you could roll for.
I'm going to grab Chip in my mouth.
Yep.
And like jump off of the R2 unit.
Yep.
The tail is flicking on the side of your mouth. Like,
Are you jumping onto the float or like into the crowd? Okay, so you jump onto this float. So everyone at this point has jumped onto the Mickey float. As it rolls over this R2 unit, we hear the sound of like the R2 unit scream like, "Ah!" as it like dies. It's like speakers are crushed under the float wheels before the float can come to a stop. At this point, the cast members are just like, nobody look, everyone put your phones away. But you have no idea what they're saying. They're just like, whoop, 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 whoop. And I feel like you want this to catch on fire.
no.
It's not that I want it to catch on fire, but
Nobody wanted any of this.
I just want it to be in a parade.
You
didn't want to murder Mickey.
Dan has talked about okay, all right. How do we resolve whether or not this float catches on fire? Because the float doesn't roll. Do we have a grit? I feel like it's a grit roll, keeping your level head, keeping your cool, literally in this instance.
Let me roll the grit roll.
Okay.
Because I represent the droid and I'm still working.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Do you like turn it off in time or something? Okay, so
I do not. So let's see if the droid that I control has enough grit to start the fire.
The battery.
Or not enough grit. What do we think? So this is to not catch on fire? Let's just make it a 10. Let's just do like a middle.
I think Chip is trying to make it catch on fire by pushing the droid past its limit. So I think.
Why are you trying to do that, Grit? Why are you trying to do that, Chip?
I'm just saying it makes more sense for my roll to choose if it burns rather than it doesn't burn.
All right.
Chip's not going to stop.
All right, let's still make this a 10. We'll just split the difference on Grit.
I roll a d8.
All right, cool.
Oh, no.
So you want it to sound... Okay, so if you fail, it doesn't catch on fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
My goal is to roll to see how strong this droid's grit is.
I feel like we just went around in circles several times. What did you
Trying
roll?
to stop the float.
Yeah.
She thinks
Yeah,
that's
okay.
how to do it.
Yeah.
6. So it does not start on fire.
Okay. However, the droid is crushed.
The droid is destroyed.
I gotta be honest. I'm just a little bit disappointed that the float didn't catch on fire.
Do you want to just spend an adversity token and have it catch on fire? Like, I'll let you do it.
If we're...
Some people just want to watch the Disney World burn.
I mean, if two people chip in.
No. I've had plenty of chaos to satiate.
There's some sparks. There's a moment of like, will it? Doesn't catch. Someone like puts it out like, and we see the crowds like they're attempting to disperse this. However, you are all unaware of this. We have 5 animals on a float.
Am I inside the mouse head now?
I think you are head stuck in the mouse head. We haven't established that you've like done anything to get in or out of the mouse head. So,
I have a question. Just so Janine doesn't know this. How do floats work? Is it somebody is steering this?
I think so.
It depends. It can be. They have a lot. There's usually, from what I understand. I didn't work in Disney parades, but they had like little like golf like utility carts, and they build the floats around them.
Mm-hmm.
So there'd be a human driver. I suspect Disney's are more high tech, so that there's some sort of auto routing. But I would imagine they'd have somebody in there for emergencies.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Okay.
Well, this certainly constitutes an emergency.
Yeah.
Ask me sometime about Big Bird's head.
So, what? I guess we should figure out.
Do we feel like this is the place where we want to end today's episode?
Well, let's can we scene paint a little? Because
I
want to know where we all are in each moment.
Let's do that. Okay, so let's vignette our way out of this. We have a float. This is the Mickey Mouse float. There was Mickey Mouse and there was Minnie on it. However, a cat jumped on Mickey Mouse's head. So we have a human who has dumped Mickey Mouse's head with a cat stuck in the head onto the ground. That has dislodged the goose that was on their head. We have a bunny leaping their way to the top. We have a mouse and a dog, mouse in dog's mouth, leaping onto the float, away from the R2 unit that's being crushed underneath the float itself, making screaming, gargling noises. Is there anything anyone else would like to add to this picture? But that's like the base that we have.
Where is the goose flying to?
Yeah, where did you sort of...
So I can give you sort of like my tag for this, which is I'm like like sort of flapping around. I'm still not very comfortable with flying, and so I just sort of like land down on sort of like the heap of destruction that is now the remains of this float, and I'm sort of like just trying to find my steadiness and like feeling the adrenaline dissipate from my goose body. And I sort of look to all of the other animals there, and I say, we have to get you home. I will take you there.
Phantom is still stuck in the mouse head. His body is just dangling. He's not paying any energy into moving. And I think the camera cuts to inside the head where his head is poking in. He's like, there was a person inside that mouse. Is there a person inside every mouse? Are mice people? Every time I've killed a mouse, have I killed a person? I just thought they were, I don't know, mice, but they're people. They have feelings and hopes and dreams. What have I done?
Cheeky.
Cheeky is as described before. When Mickey's head is thrown asunder, everybody who didn't already have their cell phones out whips their cell phones out, and Cheeky has a phobia of cell phones, because Cheeky's owners get mad when their cell phones are around, and the cell phones control the lights in the house. So Cheeky, the only safety Cheeky can find is near Renee, because Renee slayed one of the devices. So Cheeky, before as Renee is delivering this monologue, Cheeky, it's not one single jump because it's too big. So you kind of see this flutter. It's like parkour. Cheeky does parkour to get where Renee is, because Cheeky's basically Renee's shadow at this point until they get out of parade territory. Cheeky will provide any non-choking service, Heimlich maneuver services as needed. But so Cheeky started out on the droid before the thing jumped over to the base of the float, hopped around 2 or 3 times. That may have hopped off of like Minnie's shoulder, who's by the way still on the float, and to join Renee where he settles, and he just, I'm going wherever you go. You're majestic.
I am majestic.
Coco.
I am.
We can do this.
Yes.
Coco is going to like gently like spit out the mouse that she's had in her mouth, to be polite. There's like a complicated predator and prey dynamic going on.
Yeah,
Coco does not want, Chip to be worried, anything like that. And then Coco looks over and sees Minnie Mouse, I assume, still has her head on.
Is she like just professionally trying to keep it going? And
Totally is.
We've waving extra big waves.
So Coco's gonna like run up to her and like sit in front of her and say, help me find my family.
Oh.
Above us, Chip. Sorry, what are you doing?
Chip, I think is just in while of like, there's a big mouse, and like
there are 2.
Make me a big mouse. So I think Chip is just like doing one of these, of being like, I've been so small, I want to be a big mouse.
And we zoom out on this intense scene, and above us we see like crows beginning to circle, and like on one side right by Futureland we see the rats gathering and the bunnies gathering, and then everyone's just like, we just hear the Accords.
Because
something we did in violation of the Accords? What could we have possibly done?
Where we fade out on this chapter of our adventure.
Oh my goodness.
I just want to point out that there are probably like several dozen security guards throwing blankets on the Mickey head.
Oh yeah.
Cast member.
Oh yeah. No, there's.
Is that how it works?
Well, it depends on the situation.
I feel like this is unprecedented. It is not typical to have a cat jump in their eye and a goose land on their head, so they may not have prepared for this.
You'd be surprised what there's prepared this for.
It's in the
I've
manual.
seen Big Bird's head fall off.
Oh yeah.
Apparently
Chapter
there's been
13.
animal war going on, so maybe they're more used to it than we realize.
The crows have picked out Mickey's eyes a lot.
Well, of all the ways our trip to Disneyland could have gone,
Yep.
that's
That
pretty
is
much how
one
it
of
went.
them.
Wow. All right. Let's sign up. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us and for hanging out. We will be back for the final episode. Will the pets go home? Or is this their new home now?
Are they already home?
Yeah. Let's have everybody sign off. We'll start with Tony, and then we'll bounce around a little bit.
I'm Tony Beeman. I'm at Tiny Beeman on a lot of things. I'm also performing. We're starting to stream at Unexpected Productions on Twitch here, so check that out when you get a chance.
Cheryl.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cheryl Platz, a.k.a. Muppet Aphrodite. I'm a designer, I'm an author, and I'm an actor. I do Muppet Aphrodite on Twitter, Twitch, whatever. I am also at Unexpected Productions, and I'll be in the radio show that we're debuting this week on May 1st. So check them out at Unexpected Productions on Twitch.
Very nice. Janine.
I'm Janine. I am Admiral Asma on Twitter and other places. I'm also a performer with UP and am also in that radio show. Dates to be determined. Yeah, thanks.
Claudia.
Hi, I'm Claudia, but I go by Jackie Dash on Twitch and Twitter. JAKIDASH. Nice. You can find me on Monday Fun Days on my own channel, and Thursdays we're gonna do Wild Arms. So I've been a part of Infect for a while, and I'm very looking forward to doing auditions for unexpected productions.
Ooh.
Dan, bring us home.
I'm Dan Poslins at Dan Poslins, also an improviser, actor, director in the area. And maybe I'll be in the radio show as well if I remember to send in my availability. We'll find out.
Oh, that seems like a you problem.
Yeah.
I'm Random Tuesday. This is my channel. I stream here. We do RPGs and other such good stuff. We will be back with another episode of Pets Go Home next week, and this time I will actually upload this onto YouTube. Not a week late. Whew, really thought I'd done that earlier in the week, and then I was like, oh, didn't do that. But the VODs are available, so you can always watch it on VOD at any point. In fact, you could go watch it now. Relive this adventure just right now. That's
Video
the
on
thing you can go do.
demand. Twitch.tv/Random Tuesday.
It's very convenient. Thank you, everybody who has donated. We will see you next time.
Thank you so much.
This is...
Nice.
Yep, this...
Bye.
Yeah. Bye!